Joined by Mike Duda. I'm Derek DeGala. When you look at that last game, just getting that first win for Marist is just a huge confidence perspective.
Yeah, Derek, it's absolutely huge. You look at Mike Willis got his first win as head coach alongside 11 other of his coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, all of which included. Big win for Marist. They're looking to go back-to-back. Snapped a 13-game consecutive losing streak that dates back to 2023. So, big game today. Trying to end on back-to-back wins.
Presbyterian on the other side, they come to Poughkeepsie, New York off a 2-game winning streak. They beat Stetson 42-14, then they played Dayton and they won 28-7 at home. So Presbyterian coming in hot. Marist getting their first win of the season, so they're kind of coming in hot. So it's going to be a battle of streaks here today.
Absolutely it is. And you look at Presbyterian, they've had a lot of close games. They sent 2 to overtime so far this year, including Drake, who's one of the best teams in the PFL. Only lost by 3 in that one. Obviously coming off a big win against Stetson and destroying Dayton as well.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see if you're Presbyterian. And for Presbyterian, it all starts with a quarterback.
Yes, it does. And that, of course, is the Jerry Rice Award watch list quarterback. He is in the contention for most outstanding freshman in the FCS, alongside 6 other quarterbacks. Only 2 in the PFL to be represented. It's going to be a fun one with him at quarterback.
He's got 12 touchdowns so far in the season. He's 65% passing in Collinhurst. But then on the other side, when you look at Marist, they got the Offensive Player of the Week last week in Sonny Menino at quarterback.
Yeah, PFL Offensive Player of the Week. Used his legs a lot. Got 4 touchdowns. That's tied for the most in Marist history. And that's the most amongst a quarterback to ever use his legs for 4 TDs.
Yeah, and Sonny Menino didn't get the start the season. It was Enzo Arjona who started the season. He ended up getting hurt, and now Sonny Menino's kind of taken the reins a little bit. He's got 13 touchdowns. He's had 1,635 yards so far in the season. But for Marist, it's been a little bit about a balanced attack in terms of the run game a little bit. You got Tristan Shannon, you got Carter James, and then you mentioned Sonny Menino using his legs in that last game.
Yeah, and it's really been Menino who's been the primary rusher for Marist. They only have 3 touchdowns rushing from their running backs, 2 from Shannon and 1 from Carter James. It's really been Menino rolling out, using his legs. He's been a blessing for this Marist team.
It's been a blessing for the Marist team. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages for the rest of action here today. We welcome you back here to Tenney Stadium alongside Mike Duda. I'm Derek DeGallo, and when you look at this matchup, we talked about it at length. Right now, you look at the Blue Hose, you look at the Red Foxes, both teams coming into today with winning streaks. That's what you want to see, and they just got to keep the momentum going either side, whether that be the run game, whether that be the pass game, and then defense execution is going to be key.
Absolutely it has, Derek. You look at Marist, it's only the second time that they've scored 20 or more points last week. They actually put up 40 against Stetson. It was obviously their first win of the season, and it was their first actually since Presbyterian back in 2023. Marist 3-0 against Presbyterian so far, so looking for some hope against the Blue Hose.
Looking for some hope, that's for sure. They're right now starting to get the coin toss. And we'll see who will win it. But in the meantime, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Off. Just about underway. Marist wearing their home reds with white lettering and white numbering. On the other side, for the Blue Hose, they are wearing white with blue lettering and blue numbering. Marist to kick off in this one. To kick off is going to be Gabe Keeson. Back to receive for the Blue Hose. And it ends up being a short kick just around the 26-yard line. That one was caught by the Blue Hose, and they'll start 1st and 10 at the 25.
Not a horrible job there on the kickoff by Marist. They've struggled on the special teams unit so far this year and able to get the Blue Hose to start their first drive around the 25, not the worst.
Brings out the quarterback for the Blue Hose, and Hurst, redshirt freshman, trying to get things underway. So far this season, for every single game so far at Tenney, both teams have been under the gun. Well, for the Blue Hose to start out, they're going to be under the gun. The running back to the right side of Hurst. Wide receiver in motion. Hurst has it, but looks like it's going to be a full start on the offense. That's going to push him back 5 yards.
Terrible start there for Presbyterian. You never want to start off a game with a penalty. Marist has done a good job all season avoiding the penalty. Presbyterian not as much. And obviously starting off with a false start.
Gill was the one who had the full start. That last play was Kibbe who was in motion. And he's back in motion again. Runs from the left to the right. They're going to try to give it over to Kibbe. It's going to be a flea flicker going down the field to Gill. He's caught, and that looks like it's going to be a touchdown. 10-yard line, and he hops into the end zone. And there it is. Presbyterian getting off to a hot start. They go with a little bit of a lateral that time and get the touchdown. They lead this one 6-0. However, there is a flag on the field. Flag was placed just out of bounds, it looked like, just around the 17-yard line. So that one could be pushed back. And it's going to be a sideline warning. Was the flag on Presbyterian. So really doesn't really negate the play at all. Presbyterian, after the full start penalty, gets into the end zone for a touchdown. A little bit of trickery action there. Now to kick the extra point.
That was Dominic Kibbe, one who threw it. Kibbe is having a fantastic year so far. Broke a school record earlier with a 97-yard touchdown. And the PAT is good.
Peter Limpscomb kicked it into the uprights. That's good. 7-0 Presbyterian, 14:47 remaining in that one. How about that lateral early on? Kind of going a little trickery there.
Starting off with trickery, Derek. You nailed it. That's a very interesting call from Presbyterian, and it caught the Marist defense off guard. Great start for Presbyterian.
You thought maybe the full start kind of would have affected. You could kind of tell that Gill, on the first play, he was the one who ended up having the full start. He was ready to bolt. He wanted to go with speed, so I think they didn't even change the play call because it was the same thing. You saw the wide receiver and Kibbe in motion, and then Gill trying to sprint down the field, and he had open grass.
Yeah, Derek, you read my mind. I was just about to tell you how I think that they stuck with the same play. They went with the same formation, same motion there by Kibbe, and it worked out for them.
Now to kick things off for Presbyterian. Constantine Gaddis, back to receive for Marist, is going to be Tristan Shannon, the backup running back. He's had 55 carries. And it's a lefty kicker. And Gaddis tries to kick it deep. It's going to go to the 10-yard line, but Tristan Shannon fair catches it, so it's going to be placed at the 25-yard line. Little bit of extracurriculars, but no flags.
And we saw this in the pregame, Derek. Before the game, there was some pushing and shoving around the 50-yard line, a lot of yelling. Definitely a feud between these two teams. Presbyterian, of course, looking for their first win against the Red Foxes. That was Tristan Shannon on the return who fair caught it. Preseason All-PFL team. Only one from Marist to be represented.
Last season was their main back and was their backup returner. This year changed things up a little bit. He's their backup running back, but the number one returner. Menino comes onto the field after having a great week and the Marist victory. You're going to see early on, Jackson Willett in motion. Was on the right side, now moves over to the left. Two wide receivers to the right, two wide receivers to the left. Cardillo in motion from the right to left. It's going to be a pass to the running back in James, and that time he's tackled that time by number 30 for the Blue Hose, and that's a big stop that time by Sebastian Conwell.
Yeah, big stop there from Presbyterian, able to keep the momentum going, keeping Marist within a couple of yards on their first offensive play after the big touchdown.
Now another time under the gun. Fake handoff to James. Instead it goes to Cardillo on the right side, and he gets tackled right away at the 20-yard line, that time by Brooks Russ Martin. 14-10 to play in the first quarter.
Presbyterian keeping that momentum going. They are hot right now. Good defensive play after the big touchdown earlier. Back-to-back, nice plays defensively.
Red Foxes going left to right on your dial screen. Diawara, Willett, along with Mohammed and another guy as well, all in motion. 3 guys in motion for Marist, 2 guys in the backfield. Menino gets a snap under the gun, looks right, and instead is going to take it himself. Goes to the left side, now at the 30, just gets past the first down, but ends up getting stopped that time again by the guy in Russ Martin from that safety position.
Great scramble there by Sonny Menino. We saw it last week especially. He uses his legs. He's the 3rd best rusher on this Marist team, and 5 rushing touchdowns to his name.
This time it's going to be hand off to James. He goes to the left side. That time he's tackled just before the 40-yard line there. It looks like it was Jacob Thornton on the tackle.
And they hand it off to Carter James. James still looking for his first big play of the season. His longest rush is only 20 yards thus far.
Now Shannon's in the backfield. James and Diawara go out. Another time it's under the gun. This time it's going to be Shannon to the right side of James. 3 wide receivers to the right. And Menino fakes the handoff to James. Tries to go to his favorite target, and Connors McCarthy, he's successful. He's at the 20-yard line. He's got open grass. He'll head right into the touchdown. 7-6, 12:36 to play in the first quarter, and Marist answers back after the Blue Hose get their first drive touchdown.
What a grab by Jackson Connors McCarthy. That was a nice snag. One-handed, able to haul it in, and then went all the way.
Marist has had some kicking miscues so far this season. It's going to be Mendini to kick the extra point. Snap is good, holds good, everything looks good, and it is good. Marist ties the ball game at 7. Both teams on the first drive get the offense going. We'll take a quick break. 12:36 remaining in quarter number 1.
Well, we welcome you back to Tenney. We've only seen 6 offensive plays from both sides combined. Presbyterian, 1. It was basically a flea flicker and ends up being a touchdown. Marist, on the other hand, they have a couple runs, have a couple passes. Menino rolls out just a little bit. And then guess what? He goes to his favorite target in Connors McCarthy in traffic and makes the catch.
Another score on the first drive for Marist. They've scored now 5 times out of the 10 games they played this season on the first drive. Now their 7th time this year scoring within the first 2 drives. We've seen this a lot from the Red Foxes. They've looked good in the first half for the majority of the season. It's been the second half struggle, so we'll see how they play in the first half here against the Blue Hose and see if they can sustain a nice game all the way around.
Keeson to kick off. Gill back to return for the Blue Hose. Along with them is Switzer. It's going to be Switzer who gets it at the 20-yard line, goes to the 30, and then gets stopped right away, that time on the tackle by Marist, as it's a big tackle that time.
Yeah, and Presbyterian this time decided that they wanted to not call a fair catch. First 2 kickoffs, we've seen a fair catch. It was Tyler Rusher in on the stop for Marist, and that's a good stop considering the special team struggles that we've seen all year from the Red Foxes.
We've seen the special teams troubles. Well, luckily, it ends up working, as you mentioned, Rusher on the tackle. 12:32 to play in the first quarter. Presbyterian football. They are on the right. They'll go right to left on your dial screen. Quarterback under the gun. Running back right behind him. Gets a snap, hands it off, and he's stopped immediately that time by McCorkle right at the 30-yard line. Probably lost about maybe 2 yards on the loss.
Gannon McCorkle continues another real solid season on the defensive line. It's another tackle for loss. That's his 8th of the year.
Switzer in the backfield next to Hurst. On the right side of Hurst, 1 wide receiver to his left side, 3 to the right. Gets a snap, looks to Switzer. He's got some room a little bit. Missed tackle by McCorkle, but Marist covers that one up on the tackle that time. Nice tackle for Marist, as it looks like it's Austin Tremble on the tackle.
Another solid year this time from Austin Tremble. 33 tackles before that one, able to wrap him up after McCorkle couldn't do so behind the line. Good stop for Marist as they set up a 3rd and long with 11:32 to go here in the first quarter.
Right now, the Blue Hose trying to get their formation correct and get the play in. Hurst under the gun again. It's still Switzer.
5 seconds on the play clock.
Fakes the handoff, looking deep. Is going to throw it deep. In coverage that time was Trimble. Pass intended that time for Kibbe, but unsuccessful there as big defensive stop.
Good defense there by Trimble. He had no one to back him up. It was him and Kibbe, and we've seen Kibbe dominate so far this year. Good job by Austin Trimble there.
Now brings up 4th down, 4th and 9, 11-10 to play in the first quarter. Same score, we're tied at 7. Not a punt for Presbyterian, it's Ezra King. Back to receive is Mohamed Diawara.
Diawara, one of the seniors today. He was celebrated before the game on senior day.
That punt goes, bounces at the 30-yard line. Diawara almost kind of drops it a little bit, then takes it and gets it at the 15-yard line. So it's going to be Marist football, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. You talked about Diawara being a senior. That's one of 21 seniors that were congratulated on their careers here at Marist.
Yes, it was, Derek, and that actually takes up the majority of the upperclassmen here at Marist. Over half of the team's players are either freshmen or redshirt freshmen, and you can add another about 20 via sophomores and redshirt sophomores. It's a young squad out there. And, of course, a couple of the guys graduating pretty soon.
Menino under the gun. He gets a snap, now looks to his right, then looks to his left. Instead, he's going to dump it down. This time, it goes to Willett. He's got some room. He's at the 40. This time, he's going to be tackled just around the 40-yard line. That time by the outside linebacker and Hayduk.
Well, there's Jackson Willett. We thought he was going to play because it's senior day. His longest reception was for 3 yards, and that reception, of course, blows it away.
Maris going no huddle. Fake the handoff. Now look to the left side. Goes right to his target. This time it's Connors McCarthy. Gets a couple yards and then tackled that time by Presbyterian. On the tackle there was Russ Martin.
10:16 to go here in the first quarter. Menino once again finding his favorite target in Connors McCarthy. He'll take a break on the sidelines. A couple of other Marist players head over to the sidelines for substitutions.
Cardillo and James, both of them on the field. Cardillo to the right, trips to the left, Diawara to the right. Handoff. Nope, he's going to fake it. Tries to go to Diawara, but just not connecting that time. 9:51 to play in the first quarter, brings up 3rd and 7.
Not able to find Diawara on that one. Sets up a 3rd and long for Marist. So we'll see how this Blue Hoe defense reacts.
They're just past the 40-yard line. They're at the 42-yard line. They got to get to the 49. They're at their own 42, trying to get to Presbyterian, trying to get to their 49. Gets a snap, and Menino looks to his left, is going to take it himself, and he basically gets absolutely nowhere as the defensive line that time did a great job of getting right to him as it was Christian Ohagwu on the tackle.
As Menino continues to develop and we see more of him in the PFL especially, people are noticing now how much he runs, and it seems like some of these design runs are just not going to be it for Marist and specifically for Menino going forward.
4th and 7 at the 42. Yuska to punt now. Back to receive, though, for the Blue Hose. It's Gill. Snap good. Punt good. Bounces at the 20 and then gathered up this time by Gill at the 20. It bounced around the 25-yard line. A little bit of extracurriculars as Marist player goes down that time but gets right back up. So still tied at 7, 9:04 remaining in the first quarter. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Blue Hose when we're back in action here at Tenney. We welcome you back here to Poughkeepsie, New York. Same score, tied at 7. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Presbyterian. So first drive, both teams score a touchdown. Second drive, not so fast. Both teams don't get any points as both of them punted.
Yeah, and you see just a hot start for both squads. On the offensive side of the ball, and then the defensive side of the ball takes some of the shine from the offense, and they both get some stops. We'll see Presbyterian here for their next drive.
Presbyterian has been a little bit more creative in terms of offensive play calling with that touchdown. Kibbe was the one who threw it, so that's really the biggest play of the day. That was a 79-yard completion that time as they went into the end zone. Well, it's going to be Hurst who comes back onto the field, redshirt freshman. Then behind him, it's going to be Switzer. We have not seen Jennings a lot in the backfield. Was listed as RB1, but has been more RB2 today. So Switzer behind Hurst. And it's going to be a handoff to Switzer, but right away again, he's tackled. This time it's by Casanova.
Good tackle there by Ronan Casanova. Able to come in for his 46th of the season. Good stop there on first down for the Red Foxes. 8:45 to go, still 7-7.
Second down and about 9. Ball placed at the 23-yard line. Again under the gun. This time it's going to be the running back in Switzer, who's to the right side, left side of the quarterback. He gets it, and then just a handful of Red Fox defenders all in there to try to get him down. It looks like big stop that time was Coverdale in the tackle.
See a lot of these seniors and these older guys, especially knowing they might not ever play again. They're really balling out today for this defensive line. Marist defensive line putting a lot of pressure on Presbyterian, whose run game has been really solid through the first 9 games of the season.
Jordan Mendoza also was in on that tackle for Marist. So now 3rd and 9, 7:55 to play in the first quarter. It's going to be the snap. They're going to throw it. This time it goes to their target or just around the 30-yard line, and he gets stopped that time by Marist and Nate Robinson Jr. But on the catch for them, looks like that time it was one of their wide receivers and Wyatt Hodges.
Yes, it was. It was Tyrell Powell in on the stop for Marist, and another good 3 and out for this Red Fox defense.
So first drive for both teams, they both scored a touchdown. Second drive, they didn't score. Third drive for Presbyterian, didn't score. It's going to be 4th and 2, ball placed at the 29-yard line. Could be a trickery here if they had a lot of guts, as Presbyterian in the past never kicked, but this year it's a little bit different. They're going to kick it, and it goes straight out of bounds, right into the head coach's hands at the 50-yard line. So that ball is probably going to be spotted around the 45, and it's going to be spotted in Presbyterian territory at the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for Marist, 7:03 to play in the first.
Ideal field possession here for the Red Foxes. Let's see what the Blue Hoe defense can put up. They're going to have to put a lot of pressure on Marist if they want to prevent some points.
It's going to be key to see what they come out with. It's going to be Shannon next to Menino. Shannon is on the right side of Menino. 2 wide receivers to either side. Menino gets the snap. Looks to his left, now rolling to his right. Avoids one tackler, then throws it out of bounds just to avoid getting a sack. Now 6:56, 2nd and 10.
Good job there by Menino to avoid the sack. Pressure was coming, and it was coming hot.
Coming hot indeed, but now luckily he avoids the sack, throws it away, and now it's 2nd and 10. So it's going to be Cardillo and Mohamed Diawara to the left side. Now Cardillo moving from the left into the right side. They're going to switch Connors McCarthy just a little bit. Instead, he's going to stay where he is. So now you're going to see trips to the right, Diawara to the left. Shannon next to Menino. Menino gets a snap, pressure coming, rolls out to his left side, going to continue to roll, and he's got some open grass. He's going to be close to the first down marker, but this time he's pushed out right around that marker by Conwell.
There goes Sonny Menino with his legs once again. We have seen it all throughout his playing time, especially in the 7 games that he has started. He loves to scramble.
Malore comes onto the field for Marist, along with Reed Dexter. Both of them are going to be on the near side. And in the backfield is Cardillo. A little bit of motion now. Cardillo in the Wildcat formation. Gets a snap, fakes the handoff to Menino, and is going to try to pull. He gets more extra yards as that offensive line just gives him the extra push. And then on the tackle for the Blue Hose was Jacob Thornton once again.
Did I just see some spinning from Menino?
Yes, you did. That's the play call. They start with it being regular formation and then switch it to get into Wildcat.
Real interesting there. Good call.
1st and 10, 5:40 to play in the first quarter. Trips to the right yet again. Different players on the field, though, for Marist, as it's Petzovic in. Handoff to Shannon. Right in the middle, gets a couple yards, and then the defense for the Blue Hose is right there, as it looks like yet again Russ Martin on the tackle.
Shannon gained a little extra there. Originally was going to be stopped maybe with a gain of 1 or 2. Able to get a couple more than that.
About 2nd and 6. Handoff again, no. It's going to be a pass to the tight end. This time continuing to try to get to the 30-yard line. He does that time, and Connors McCarthy as another tackle there. This time it's Hayduk.
And Marist able to put up a reception, but not many yards on that reception, so didn't really do much on 2nd down. Going to set up 3rd and 5, maybe 4, with 4:38 to go here in the first quarter, still 7-7.
Marist looking for the play call here. It's going to be James in the backfield. All of the targets are now to the right. They're going to move James out wide to the right. Nobody next to Menino. He's by himself. Gets a snap, looks to his left, go to Cardillo, and he's going to be just around the marker, but he's about 2 yards short as he was tackled that last time. Looks like, yet again, it is Hayduk.
Looked like 4-down territory for Marist. Let's see if they go to the kicking unit.
It's going to be 4th and about 2 for Marist. Man down for Marist, so we'll take a quick break. 7-7 your score, 4th and 2 for Marist, 4:08 remaining in quarter number 1. Well, we welcome you back here at Poughkeepsie, New York. 4:08 remaining, tied at 7, 4th and 2 at the 28-yard line. Offense comes back on the field. Not really much of a surprise as the offense comes out with Marist having some kicking miscues early on in the season.
Yeah, you read my mind there, Derek. Gabe Kaysen is their long kicker. He's only had 1 attempt so far this year, and he completely shanked it right. Connor Mendini also only 2 for 4 on field goals. And it's a little bit too long of territory for the Red Foxes to kick for 3, so they're going for it on 4th and short.
Going for it on 4th and short. You see Willett in motion. He goes to the right. Now, snap is good. Goes to Menino. Looks to his right. Going to continue to roll to his right. He's at the 35, trying to get an extra couple yards. He stays in bounds and gets tackled that time around the 5-yard line by the Blue Hose and Herritt.
Sonny Menino once again on the rollout. He just continues to do it.
Herritt on the tackle, going quickly, 1st and goal at the 7. Handoff to James, trying to push through. Does he push through? There's a flag on the play, and it looks like he'll be down just short of the touchdown, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, this one looks like it's going to be coming back.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty is declined. It's going to be 2nd and goal, and it's maybe a fingernail to get into the end zone.
I stand corrected, and a guy that's going to be taking the field here is number 95, Devin Kennedy. He plays both defensive line and offensive line, and he also has caught a couple of passes at the tight end spot. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some action from 95.
Right now he's positioned at that right tackle spot in Kennedy. Menino rolls to his left, and it's going to be a handoff to Cardillo. It's the Wildcat into the end zone for a touchdown. Marist leads 13-7, 2:58 remaining in the first quarter.
Another Wildcat play for the Marist Red Foxes. Direct snap to Lincoln Cardillo, and he is able to get in for his first score of 2024.
Now on to kick the extra point is Medini. Substitution coming on late for Presbyterian to make sure they got all 11 on the field. Long snapper Wyatt Rumnott. Hold is good, kick is good. Marist leading by a touchdown, 14-7. and they'll kick off just shortly. But how about that drive for the Red Foxes?
And another good drive here by the Marist offense. They continue to remain hot, obviously putting up 40 against Stetson last week. You think you would see a little bit more of a difficult opponent here in Presbyterian, but offensively the Red Foxes have looked real sound. They put up 2 touchdowns within the first 12 minutes of play.
Only 2 incompletions so far for Menino, and sometimes all you need is that extra stop to be good. The score has not changed, so the extra point was no good. Looked like it was good from our vantage point, but it was no good.
Also looked good from up here, and I was actually going to mention how Mendini has really had a pretty solid season in terms of PATs. He just had 1 poor game, but of course, Connor missing that one. Leaves it 13-7 in favor of the Red Foxes. And we'll see Gabe Kaysen, who's going to kick it off. 2:58 still remaining here in the first.
Now to kick things off for Marist, it's going to be Gabe Kaysen. So the inexperienced kicking for Marist certainly not helping with that missed extra point. Kick goes right to Switzer. He's at the 18-yard line, has some open grass, gets a huge block. Now he's at the 50-yard line. Now he's at the 45-40. Tries to get pushed out. Now he's going to be finally pushed out at the 25-yard line, that time by Marist. Huge run by Switzer, as it was Austin Trimble who tried to push him out and then eventually got pushed out, that time by Marist.
Special team struggles. It has been a storyline this year for the Red Foxes. Continues again, the missed PAT, and then a huge gain on the kick return for Presbyterian already puts them in field goal range.
And decent field position here as you're at the Marist 25. Both teams with 3 timeouts, 2:50 remaining in quarter number 1. Now this time we're going to have Jennings in the backfield. He's going to be right of the quarterback in Hurst. 2 wide receivers to the right side. They're going to hand it off to Jennings. He goes to the left, tries to get a hole that time from his left tackle, but unsuccessful that time as Nick Jackson was right there to gather Jennings at the 26-yard line.
Quante Jennings, of course, the RB1 coming into the day. 418 yards on 68 carries, averaging 6.1 a carry coming into play. Marist defense does a real solid job there, wrapping him up at the line.
About a loss of about 1. 2:25 remaining in the first quarter. Jennings still in the game. This time 1 wide receiver will be to the left side. Hand off to Jennings instead. He's going to take it. Throws it wide, and it's caught. This time it's Hodges on the catch. And tackled that time by Marist. It looks like it was Lamar Frazier out there.
Real solid job there by Presbyterian, sticking to the right side. Wide open receiver, and a good tackle defensively, able to stop a bigger play.
1:50 remaining in the first quarter. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for Presbyterian. Jennings still in the backfield. He's on the right side of the quarterback. 1 wide receiver out to the right, and then 2 out to the left. Hand off to Jennings. Instead, it's going to be a handoff to the wide receiver, that time in Gill. And he gets a first down and more, but then gets tackled by Marist. And on the tackle that time was Benham.
This Marist defense really struggling with the trick plays from Presbyterian. Every time it goes right up the middle with a run or a traditional throw, defensively they've seemed solid when it comes to the Wildcat formation and a couple of throws in one play, and it seems to throw off this Marist defense completely.
The trickery action for the Blue Hose working. Just under 60 remaining in the first quarter. This time, a different running back was out behind the backfield. That pass goes to Warner, the tight end, and then is tackled immediately by the linebacker in Cratcheville.
Now that's worth Warner on the reception, another preseason All-PFL team member. Presbyterian has a couple of them. They got 4, 3 of which on their offense. Quarterback, receiver, tight end. This offense is nice.
Now this time it's Hurst again. It's empty under the gun. 2nd and goal at the 6. 8 seconds on the play clock. Gets a snap, rolls to his right, continuing to roll. He's going to try to get into the end zone, and he does. Touchdown, Blue Hose. It's Hurst who gets into the end zone via the running.
And Colin Hurst able to get in via his legs, 4th time this season that he does so. And he continues to have a real nice season.
Tied at 13, pending the extra point. It's Lipscomb to kick it to try to give Presbyterian the lead by 1. 8 seconds remain in the first quarter. Snap a little high, gets it down in time, and the kick is good. Presbyterian leading this one 14-13. 8 seconds remain in the first quarter, so special teams being a big factor here today.
Once again, special teams being a struggle for Marist. It was only a 5-play drive because they only had to go 25 yards. And Presbyterian able to get in for 6 plus the PAT. Now leading 14-13.
Creative offensive play calling for Presbyterian in terms of that lateral really led to the touchdown, and a good job by Hurst using his legs. Entering today in terms of rushing the football, he had 60 carries, 134 yards with 3 touchdowns. Well, he just got his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
And that's to add on to his incredible passing numbers. Pass efficiency just shy of 150. He's only thrown 4 interceptions on the year, and he's got 12 passing touchdowns. And given his throwing yards so far, he is now north of the 2,000-yard mark in terms of passing this season.
Looking to do some damage in this one. Now to kick off for the Blue Hose. It's Constantine Gandis. The lefty back to receive for Marist is Tristan Shannon, who's about at the 5-yard line. And kick goes to the 4-yard line. It's bobbled by Shannon. Gets it right back, though. He's got open grass on the right side. Continues to go to the right side. He's at the 20-yard line. There's going to be 3 flags that come down on the play, but it ends up being a tackle, that time by Presbyterian, as it's Jason Brenas.
Yeah, this one looks like it's coming back. Shannon fumbled it. Let's see what the call is.
It's going to be holding on Marist. That's going to push them back a couple yards. So it's going to be to start the second quarter. Marist is going to be even further into their territory. Presbyterian leading this one after 1, 14-13. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, we welcome you back here to Tenney. And it's certainly going to be an interesting game, to say the least, because we see offense being a factor. We see special teams being a factor. 14-13 your score from the Blue Hose side of things. Let's start with the Blue Hose. What have you seen so far from an offensive standpoint?
Derek, I'm seeing creativity. It's a whole bunch of creativity from the Blue Hose today, really catching the Marist defense off guard. Like I was saying earlier, their traditional plays runs up the middle in these traditional throws. Marist is doing well defensively. You throw in these creative plays from the Blue Hose, and just seems to impede on the Marist defense.
Yeah, and the creativity for the Blue Hose, you talk about it being an issue for the defense for Marist. So defensively, how can you kind of figure out the creativity in terms of the Blue Hose offense?
I think that comes down to the secondary, Derek. Their defensive line has looked real solid. They put on pressure. They got in tackle for losses. They've stopped the run game pretty well, but just comes down to that secondary figuring out when it's going to be a trick.
Yeah, and it's also communication, too. I think when you're looking kind of at the linebackers and the safeties position, they're a little kind of lackadaisical in terms of yelling different signals out, making sure everyone's on the same page. Well, on the other page, on the other side of things for Marist, it's a little bit different in terms of the offense, because we've seen Menino use his legs. Both quarterbacks have used your leg. What do you make of the offense so far for Marist?
Marist offense just continuing what they were doing in Stetson. They put up 14 in the first quarter. They, of course, put up 40 against Stetson when they traveled down to Florida. Menino's continuing to use his legs. They're mixing in a couple of runs. This offense needs to just keep doing what it's doing. It's really just going to be a battle of the defenses and what defense can come up with a bigger play.
And we'll be back to action real shortly to start the second quarter. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Marist at their own 9 after that holding penalty, which pushes them even further back. So special teams being a big issue for Marist. And Carter James is now going to be in the backfield left of Menino. You see Cardillo, who moved out wide. Now Cardillo going in motion, and it's going to be a couple of trickery there, but it's going to be a pass to Connors McCarthy, but it ends up being incomplete, but there's a flag on the play, which looks like it's going to go the Marist way and push them up a couple yards.
So a little bit of shoving after the play. Tension still high here in Marist last contest.
Pass interference in the defense. That's going to give Marist 15 yards and an automatic first down. So that certainly helps the Red Foxes just a little bit, especially when you're at that 9-yard line. And if you don't get a first down, punting in your own territory can be a little difficult.
Most certainly. I mean, we've seen the offense working, so if you're the Red Foxes, you're definitely hoping that your offense continues to go, possibly put up some points. But like you were saying, Derek, from a punting standpoint, you don't want to be backed up against your own end zone.
Menino under the gun. Next to him on the left, on the right side is James. Waiting for motion. He gets motion from Cardillo. Gets a snap looking to his right. Continuing to look. Is going to run a little bit, trying to create something. And he gets maybe a yard before he's pushed out of bounds that time by Hayduck.
And Menino rolling out once again.
So now 14:35 to play in the second quarter. Second down and about 9. Again, Menino under the gun. This time Shannon behind him. Hand off to Shannon, and he's going to look to pass. He tries to throw it down the field, but it's going to be intercepted. We'll see if he got his foot in that time. Looked like it was Russ Martin who was the one trying to catch the pass, and they are going to say he completed the process. So it's going to be an interception for Presbyterian as they'll have the football at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10.
There's just your prime example of if it works for the other team, it might not work for your team. Head coach Mike Willis and offensive coordinator Bob Davies try to get creative there. And they try to follow Presbyterian's creativity, and it does not pan out.
1st and 10 at the 50 after the interception by Presbyterian. Now it's going to be Hurst under the gun. Next to him on the right is going to be Jennings. It's not going to be Jennings. It's going to be a different running back. This time they flick it to the wide receiver this time, and it's caught. Looks like Hodges made the catch, but then was tackled immediately that time by McCorkle.
And Gannon McCorkle continues to work hard for this Marist defensive line. Able to be involved in yet another play. Brings up 2nd and 6, 13:50 to go in the first half.
Offensive lineman that time, and J.T. Hill, the right tackle, moved to the left, and it's going to be a handoff to Jennings to the left side, but right away you see McCorkle having an impact for a tackle for loss. 13:35 remaining in the second.
Another TFL there for Gannon McCorkle. He's really having himself a nice game today.
McCorkle, the guy who you mentioned, back-to-back plays, making it on the defensive end. Now it's going to be 3rd and 6 at the 49-yard line.
McCorkle now
3rd and 11, excuse me.
McCorkle now has already tied his season high for tackles for losses in a game, and we still have 13 minutes left in this first half. He's having himself a real nice day.
Hurst under the gun, gets the snap, looks to his right. Now he's going to take it himself. Instead, he's going to throw it over to his favorite target, and Gill. He's got room to rumble. 20-yard line, 10-yard line, missed tackles. Gill heads into the end zone for a touchdown for the Blue Hose. They again get another touchdown, 3rd touchdown of the day for the Blue Hose, make it 20-13, 12:49 remaining in the second quarter.
Look at the movement there from Sincere Jill rather. He was wide open, able to finesse his way through a couple of Marist defenders and in for the score.
Gale does a great job that last time. Now to kick the extra point. And it's good. Lipscomb does it again, kicks the extra point. That's through. 21-13, 12:49 remaining in the second quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Looks like it's going to be pass interference on the defense, but the question is, was that a catchable football?
It looked pretty far from me I think that was at least 5 to 7 yards of distance between where Diawara was and where that football landed.
They're going to say it was pass interference on Caleb Francis. So that's a big break for Marist as it gives him an extra 15 yards. But I think depending on where he ends up pushing him or holding him or however he did it, depending on where Diawara was, instead of it being 5-10 yards down the field.
Certainly is a factor, and you see it there with the call, how it ends up standing as a pass interference call. Good field possession now for the Red Foxes. They get bailed out.
All targets to the left side. Instead, it's going to be a handoff. Nope. Menino's going to keep it himself. Tries to roll to right now. Is in the middle at the 40-yard line. Trying to create space for himself. Is able to do so as he goes right to the 37-yard line, but not before he gets tackled that time by the linebacker for Presbyterian and Christian Oganju.
Thought Halloween was past us. What's with all this trickery?
Menino fakes the handoff, looking deep, going to try to go to his target, and that is complete. It's Jack Malore who makes the catch, the freshman. 11:40, and Marist is trying to go hurry up.
Solid catch there on the right side by Jack Mallory. Able to get this within the red zone for the Red Foxes.
Now Shannon to the left side of Menino. All of his targets to the left. Hand off to Shannon, runs right up the middle, gets a couple yards, then gets to the 15-yard line, but not before he's stopped on that last play by Presbyterian and Kenneth Odgaba.
11:10 left to go now in the first half. A couple of yards there for Marist on the carry. Able to half the distance for that first down.
So now 2nd and 5 at the 15, 10:50 to play in the second quarter. Shannon's going to be to the left side of Menino. Both targets, 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 wide receivers to the right. Menino looks, rolls out to his left side, rolling back, tries to throw it, and it's going to be deflected. But luckily for Marist, someone recovers it, but the ref is going to say it is an incomplete pass. So a little bit of a lucky break for Marist as they go back to where they were and makes it 3rd and 5 versus it being 3rd and 15.
Certainly a break. By the time Marist got on the football, they were back at about the 31, 32-yard line. Not only does that basically back them out of a third down possibility of converting, also back them out of field goal range. So now dealing with a 3rd down and 5, and if they don't get it, they're still within field goal range.
Presbyterian might want to take another look at that one because that would be a big deal. Well, I just said it, and it's going to be a timeout for Presbyterian. They are going to want to take a look at that one. We'll take a quick break because Presbyterian wants to make sure that he went forward on the pass. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, we welcome you back. They just gave us the official ruling. Both of us thought maybe it was going to be a fumble. Well, we are incorrect. We do not have a monitor in the radio booth, so we can't tell whether that was going to be a fumble or not. Well, they keep it as is, as it's going to stand on the field, so it will be an incomplete pass. 3rd and 5. Ball placed at the 15-yard line, 10:40 to play in the second quarter. So just not enough evidence on that last one. James in the backfield to left side. Menino gets a snap, roll out to the left. He's got some open grass. He's going to take it himself. Gets to just about the 10-yard line, so he's going to be close to that marker. We'll see if they give him the first down. But there is a flag on the play, so we'll see if that pushes Marist back. Blue Hose defense motioning to Marist that it was, and it's going to be a holding on Marist. So the holding pushes them back 10 yards. So it kind of just negated the fact that Marist had the incompletion instead of the fumble, because now we're to exactly the spot it would have been if it was a fumble.
Jackson Willett, the one called on that flag. Willett getting into the game almost basically because it's senior day. We hadn't seen a lot of Willett action. He had that good catch earlier. Now backs the Red Foxes up to the 25.
Under the gun, James to the left side of Menino, trips to the left. Looking. Looks to one of his favorite targets in Diawara, but that one incomplete as it just goes over the fingertips of him, and he is down, slow to get up, but he's able to get up just about now as he is able to get up. So it's going to be 10-17 remaining in the second quarter. 4th and 15. Ball at the 25-yard line, and it is now decision time for Marist. What do you do?
That Jackson Willett penalty is killer. It looks like they're going to go for the field goal, and they're sending out Connor Mendini. Now, Mendini usually takes the short field goals for the Red Foxes. It's Gabe Kaysen who will attempt the longer ones, and I'm surprised with the ball spotted at the 25. This is a 42-yard field goal attempt for Connor Mendini. I thought this would be Gabe Kaysen territory, but they're going to give it to the freshman.
Looks like it's like a 42.5 because the way the holder is situated, it's in between the 32 and the 33. Hold good, snap good. Kick just barely good, and I mean maybe by inches. So the field goal for Medini is good. Marist is now down by 5, 10-12 remaining in quarter number 2.
Connor Mendini able to knock it in from 42 yards out. He traditionally kicks it low. That's why we've seen a couple of his kicks blocked, specifically on the PATs. Thought that one had a hand in on it when it was kicked, and somehow it goes in. What a kick from Connor Mendini.
I'm a little surprised that went in. I did not think he had enough leg on that one, but nonetheless, I am wrong yet again. 10-12 remaining in quarter number 2. Marist down by 5, and I guess maybe special teams looks a little bit up after that last field goal.
Finally, an uptick for the Red Fox special teams. Mendini's only made 2 field goals coming into play, both of which between 20 and 29 yards out. That one a 42-yarder. So Mike Willis's decision to stick with Mendini instead of Gabe Kaysen on that field goal pays off. Red Foxes get 3. It's now 21-16 in favor of the Blue Hose. 10-12 left to play here in half number 1.
Gabe Kaysen to kick off for Marist. Back to receive for the Blue Hose. It's going to be Zach Switzer along with Gill. So experience for the returners for the Blue Hose, both of them seniors. Kick at the 20-yard line to Switzer. Rolls to the left, continuing to go to the left, and is stopped just before the 35-yard line it was a tackle by Marist. That time it was Jack Teller.
Another good job on the special teams there by Marist. Thought we were going to see a little bit more finesse from the Blue Hose. We've been seeing it all day. Some missed tackles from Marist. We saw a juke move, but Marist was able to recover, keep the Blue Hose drive starting at the 34.
That was the longest field goal made by Connor Medini. And that's one. Is going to be thrown over to his wide receiver that time, but is stopped by Nate Robinson Jr. as he goes to Kibbe on that last one. And that was the longest kick in conference for Medini.
Good tackle there on that last play. Combination of Robinson and Powell able to make the stop. Only a yard gained for the Blue Hose.
2nd and 9 at the 35. 19:30 and counting left in quarter number 2. Marist down by 5. Gets the snap, and Hurst looks to his left, is going to throw it over to his favorite target in Kibbe, and looks like he just gets a yard past the first down marker, so 1st and 10 for Presbyterian.
Another day, another catch by Dominic Kibbe. Coming into play just shy of 600 yards. He's now surpassed that. Averaging 60 yards per game on the receiving side of things.
Hurry up for Presbyterian. They give it over to Jennings. He goes to the left side, maybe gets a yard, but then gets tackled, that time by Coverdale.
We haven't seen much of Quante Jennings today. Only his 3rd rushing attempt. The first 2 went for a combined -3. And that one not much better.
Again, Jennings in the backfield. Marist moved, but luckily got back in time. as it was actually Justin Montgomery, not Jennings, in the backfield that last time. So it's going to remain Montgomery in the backfield. This time he's going to give it over to Kibbe on the near side, and then pushed out that time by Nate Robinson Jr. just past the 50-yard line at the 49-yard line.
Nasty hit from the Texas native. That was nice.
Ball placed at the 49-yard line, 3rd and about 4 for Presbyterian. 7:55 remaining in quarter number 2. Presbyterian trying to keep this drive alive. Now Jennings is in the backfield.
It's a huge 3rd down for both sides. Marist looking for a big stop. Blue Hose looking to continue yet another successful drive.
2 wide receivers to the left. Now it's going to be Gill in motion. Watch out for him. Instead, it's going to be a pass over the middle to the tight end that time for the Blue Hose, as it was completed to Warner, and then on the tackle that time for Marist was Werner.
So the big 3rd down goes in favor of the Blue Hose. Able to keep the drive rolling. Getting closer to field goal range.
Jennings in the backfield. They're going to give it to him right up the middle. Almost has an extra space to get past the defensive line, but instead doesn't get past the last defender that time, as Paterno was on the tackle.
Nice job again there by Jennings. Able to work through some early contact from that Marist defensive line.
6:50 remaining in quarter number 2. 2nd and 5. As it's Jennings yet again. He finds the hole. This time he gets past the 2 lines of defense and then is able to get some room, and then gets tackled on that last play by Rasheed Smith.
Quante Jennings now really picking up his game. First couple of carries, he struggled. He's rolling.
And then it's going to be a timeout for Marist on the defensive side of the ball, as they want to make sure that their defense gets ready for a stop, as they are down by 5, try to make Presbyterian kick a field goal here. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Well, we welcome you back into Tenny. Marist trying to make a big stop here and make Presbyterian kick a field goal, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Blue Hose.
It's a real test of the Marist defense here. 6:30 to go in the first half, down by 5. You really want to keep this game manageable by preventing the Blue Hose from scoring 6. Hold them to 3 if possible.
First and 10 for the Blue Hose. Jennings is in the backfield next to Hurst. On the right side of Hurst is Jennings. Hurst gets the snap, gets blitzed right away. It was Counter who tried to get involved, but it ended up being the other side of the edge rusher in Paterno. But luckily the offensive lineman that time for Presbyterian gets on it, so they remain with the football, but now it's going to be 2nd and 12.
Real beneficial job there for the Blue Hose, able to get on it. They're going to go hurry up.
They go hurry up indeed. They hand it off to Jennings. He gets maybe back to where they originally were, maybe a yard or 2. There are some extracurriculars ensuing with wide receivers and cornerbacks, but now it's going to be 3rd and about 11 yards for the first down with 5:45 to play in the second quarter.
Gill and Robinson, the 2 biggest names in those altercations after the play concluded. Looks like we're going to see Robinson out of the safety position. He played there in the win against Stetson, was able to notch yet another interception this season.
So Hurst under the gun gets it, going to throw it to his running back this time. It's Switzer. He's got open grass a little bit, and he's going to get the first down, which keeps the chains alive, and Presbyterian now has a first down. However, someone is down for Marist. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. 5:06 remaining in quarter number 2. Well, it was Austin Trumbull who was down, the leading cornerback for Marist. So now if you're Presbyterian, you think you're in the red zone, you're at the close, you're about at the 6-yard line. You could think run. Well, the cornerback 1 is out, so you might go with the pass. Instead, they go to Jennings, and the offensive line just going to try to push him forward as much as possible, as it looks like Paterno was in there to make the tackle.
Defensively, it's a good job to prevent Presbyterian from scoring, but not the pressure that we would have expected on the defensive line, especially given the pressure on the pass by McCorkle. Defensive line can't get in there to stop the rush. Going back to your point earlier, Derek, Trimble out still, creating a mismatch with Dominic Kibbe. He's going to be all alone on the left side. Let's see what the freshman Nate Robinson can do against him.
Under the eye, Kibbe in motion from left to right. Hurst kind of loses his footing, and is going to get sacked by McCorkle.
Gannon McCorkle once again putting in a real solid day. He's already got 1.5 tackles for losses and make it 2.5 tackle for losses in his first sack of the game.
And that pushes Presbyterian way back. Now they're just about at the 17-yard line. They were at the 3, so it's a loss of 14 yards.
Big third, long third, 3:30 to go here in the first half.
Gets a snap under the gun. They look over the middle to the tight end, and it's caught for a touchdown. That time they go to the tight end, the backup tight end, and Nathan Levecki.
So Presbyterian, they convert on a real long third down. Able to get in for 6. That's huge for the Blue Hose. Take a commanding lead going into the half.
Levecki created just enough space to get into the end zone. Lipscomb to kick the extra point. Hold good, snap good, kick is good. Presbyterian leading this one 28-16, 3:21 remaining in quarter number 2.
13-play drive there, capped off in the 17-yard throw and catch to the backup tight end for Presbyterian. They go 66 yards, taking just under 7 minutes off the clock. So now it leaves Marist with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to work with offensively, down by 12. And a field goal won't do much. Puts you down by 9. You really want to get in for 6 if you're the Marist Red Foxes here, especially because you won't get the ball at the half.
The question is, though, if you do get a touchdown, makes it 28-24. No, 28-22, excuse me. Do you end up going for 2?
It's a good question. I think it depends on how Mendini is feeling. It looks like Mendini was feeling fine. He made a 42-yard field goal. As long as you can trust him to put one through the uprights, I think you stick with that. I don't see the point in going for 2 because then that's only a 6-point lead, 6-point deficit.
You go for 2, it would be 28-24. Would be a 4-point game versus a 5-point game. Shannon gets it from the return and is able to get to just past the 25-yard line before he gets stopped that time by the Blue Hose. I mean, it's an interesting discussion nonetheless because you're down by 6 if you get a touchdown. Would you rather be down by 5 or down by 4? Or would you just leave it at, I mean, worst case scenario, you're down by 6, it's a touchdown. The 5 or 4, depending on how much you think that matters.
I mean, you say worst case scenario, you're down by 6, but if you're down by 6, if you're down by 5 rather than 6, a touchdown will give you the lead. Rather than if Presbyterian were to score a touchdown and you're down by 6, that's a tie game. Could be night and day. We'll see what they do. They got to get in the end zone first.
Menino motioning Cardillo to get the football. He does so. Goes to the left. Now is just trying to get to the 40. Bounces off a tackler and gets to the 40-yard line. Bounced off that time, Herod, and was able to get more yards. And then Herod was the one who made the tackle for the Blue Hose. So 1st and 10 for Marist. 2:55 to play in the second quarter.
Crafty Cardillo. They decide to work with some more crafty plays, and Lincoln Cardillo benefits. Gain of 8.
It's going to be Carter James in the backfield to the left side of Menino. fakes the handoff, looking deep. Now he's just rolling backwards, and he's going to just have to throw it away. He does so now it's going to be 3rd and about 2 at the 34-yard line for Marist, as there's 2:36 remaining in quarter number 2.
Looked like Menino was trying to go deep there, just didn't get the time that he needed. Pressure coming in defensively from the Blue Hose. Menino likes to throw the ball deep. Of course, we see him using his legs a ton, but when he throws, he likes to throw the ball deep. That was the big difference between him and Enzo Arjona, who started the first 3 games of the campaign.
3rd down and 2 for Marist. James in the backfield. Menino gets a snap, looks to his left, now rolling out to his right. And there's going to be a flag on the play. Menino tries to take it himself. It looks like he's going to be just short nonetheless, but it looks like it's going to be a flag on Marist by the offensive lineman, a holding to kind of separate Menino to give him some space.
So the question is here, if you're Presbyterian, do you accept the penalty or do you decline it?
I think it's a no-brainer. I think you accept it nonetheless because Menino was kind of close. So they decline the penalty, which is an interesting call to say the least, because now it brings up 4th and 2. As they say, Menino did not gain any yards. That's the key. They say Menino did not get any yards, and that's why they decline it. It's interesting to decline the penalty. 4th and 2 at the 35-yard line, 2:15 remaining in quarter number 2. Marist, we'll see if they end up going with a play. They're going to have to go with the play, as the play clock is at 6. It's going to be under the Wildcat to Cardillo. He gets a couple yards, and he's going to get the first down. And now it's going to be the 2-minute timeout. 28 to 16. 2 minutes left in quarter number 2. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back here to WMAR. So we saw what happened on the 3rd down. Menino went back to the same yardage, which brings up 4th and 2. What do you make of the decision to not accept the penalty to make it keep it 4th and 2 versus it being a holding call, so it would bring it back 10 yards, meaning it would be 3rd and 12 versus 4th and 2?
That's a baffling decision there, Derek. You look at how Marist has played, especially on 4th down and short throughout the season. They're gonna go for it. They're a 1-9 team. They have nothing to lose. So I don't understand why you don't accept the penalty, take the extra 10 yards, and likely get a 3rd down stop and force a punt that's even deeper than where you would if you were to get a stop there on 4th. I don't understand it, because now you knew that Marist was going to go for it, and they convert. Now you have to deal with the 1st down.
The biggest thing, though, I think, in terms of clock, though, if it's 4th and 2, you get the stop. You have more time left on the clock when you get the football versus if you push it back 3rd and 12. There's less time, and you might have to use a timeout. Well, doesn't matter anyways. Menino passes it over to Shannon, and he gets stopped basically after he gets a couple yards that time. And on the tackle there, again, Russ Martin.
3rd catch of the day there by Carter. Menino is like throwing to his running backs.
Hurry up offense. They go back to Shannon, and he gets pounded that time by Russ Martin, but Shannon breaks that off and then goes out of bounds. He gets maybe 2 yards, so make it 3rd and 4.
And once again, using the running back, that being Menino. If he doesn't use the legs of his own, he usually just throws to a running back, or he tries to find Connors McCarthy in some way, shape, or form. It's now 2 catches for each of the Marist running backs, Carter, Shannon, and Cardillo.
So they say he did not get any yardage. So it's going to be 3rd and 6, 1:36 remaining in quarter number 2. Menino rolling out to his left, continuing to roll, trying to create something out of nothing, and he tries to throw that ball kind of in between Cardillo and Mohamed Diawara. And then on that one, for the defensive stand for Presbyterian, was Tariq Hollinger, who had a chance of maybe intercepting that pass.
Looked like a offensive miscommunication between Menino and Cardillo. Cardillo was turned around as the ball was being thrown in relatively his direction. So some miscues, and now we'll see a punt here on 4th. That goes back to the decision to not accept that holding call penalty. Now you only have 1:30 remaining, and you're going to have to start your drive from punt distance.
Looks like there was motion up front. We'll see if they end up making it a full start, or if the Blue Hose cross the line of scrimmage, making Marist move. But instead, it's going to be a full start. That pushes them back, so it's going to be now even further back. But they're still in a fine spot because you push your punter back 5 yards. It gives them a little bit more space, especially now when you're at the your own 39-yard line. You get a punt.
Field goal still not the end of the world for Marist. He'd be down 15.
Almost a block that time. And it's Gill who gets it. Tries to break off a couple tacklers. He does so just a little bit, but then he gets tackled just before the 20-yard line. And that time, it looked like it was Brooks Bolden on the tackle among the crew.
Brooks Bolden, one of the top cornerbacks on this Marist team, able to get a good special team stop. Sets up the situation, sets up the scene here for Presbyterian. 1:19 to go in the first half. They lead by 12. They'll start this drive at their own 20. So with two timeouts, what do you do if you're Presbyterian?
Most likely you have those timeouts. You can go in the middle of the field, but probably take a couple deep shots, see what happens. Probably the run game not going to be a factor most likely, but I'm incorrect. As they will run the football with their running back in Switzer. He goes to the left side, then gets tackled around the 25-yard line. Clock continuing to move. No timeout for Presbyterian used. They have 2. Marist has 2. Second and about 5. 1 minute remaining in the second quarter. They're going hurry up. Fakes the handoff, and Hurst rolls to his left and then just spikes it in the dirt. And it's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 5 at their own 25-yard line. 52 seconds left. So now if Marist can have a big defensive stand, they'll maybe have 30 seconds or so with 2 timeouts, depending on where the spot is. You might get the football back at your own 30-yard line. You got a chance to maybe take a couple deep shots, and maybe you get a field goal.
Anything's possible. Looks like Presbyterian dug their own grave if they don't convert here on 3rd down. They ran it on first. Didn't elect for the timeout, but they went for hurry-up offense, signaling to Marist that they're still going for this.
Switzer in the backfield next to Hurst on the left side. Hurst gets the snap, looks to his left. Now looking middle, is able to find his target up the middle. That's going to be a first down, and he goes right to one of his favorite targets in Kibbe, but on the tackle was Camestro for Marist. 43 seconds remain in quarter number 2.
Once again, Dominic Kibbe on the reception. And looks like the clock is still going to roll.
Was waiting for the ref to give the signal, and this time it's going to be the quarterback who just rolls out to his left, gets maybe 3 yards, and then out of bounds in Hurst. So now 36 seconds remaining in the first half. He gets 3 yards, make it 2nd and 7. Still just trying to get into field goal range here if you're Presbyterian. Not really thinking touchdown unless if you get into field goal range and then take a couple deep shots.
Yeah, and they decided to roll out with Hurst there. Now they're sitting at about midfield. You still have to go a pretty good distance, about 25 yards to get into field goal range. Let's see what they do here.
Hurst looking, goes to his running back that time in Switzer. That time he gets tackled at the 45-yard line. On the tackle yet again was Camestro. This time they're going to call a timeout. So 28 seconds remaining in the first half. Now Presbyterian will have 1 timeout. However, they will have a first down. It's going to be in Marist territory at the 45-yard line. So they probably have to get at least this first down to at least consider kicking the field goal.
They're in a pretty good spot here if they want to try one for 3. Like you said, Derek, they're probably going to have to go middle of the field. They might be able to go sidelines. They still have that 1 timeout to use. 30 seconds is still a lot of time. I think they should be more concerned with completing passes and having to avoid a 4th down. I think they're not in the worst spot here.
So now Presbyterian has 1 timeout. Are you using that timeout no matter what, or are you saving that 1 timeout to get your field goal unit on the field?
I would use the timeout to help the field goal unit. That way you can open yourself up to the middle of the field later. I think when you force yourself to be on the sidelines later, that's not as helpful because the defense is probably going to read that. So if you save your timeout for later, you can use the middle of the field, call that timeout, kick the field goal. Let's see what they decide to do.
So you said Presbyterian should wait to call their timeout for the field goal unit. We'll see if they end up calling a timeout earlier than you expect. Hurst goes right over the middle of the field to Gill, and he's going to continue to roll. He's at the 30-yard line and gets past the 30-yard line. He's at the 28-yard line, then he gets stopped. So they're going no huddle quickly. 20 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Presbyterian going hurry up. It looks like they're going to spike it. They're going to spike it at 17 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So 3 seconds came off of that spike, which is huge. They did not call a timeout. They keep that one timeout for when they have to call a timeout for the field goal unit. They're still in a good spot here. They're at the 29-yard line. Still probably want to get a little bit more yardage for the field goal unit, but we'll see. 17 seconds remaining in quarter number 2.
If I was Presbyterian here, I'd go deep shot. Still got 17 seconds to work with. You still have that timeout. You really have nothing to lose. You're already in field goal range.
Hurst under the gun. Next to him is Swifter. Swifter goes out wide to the right. He's going to go right to Swifter at the 30-yard line, gets to the 25, and then gets out just before the 20-yard line at the 22-yard line. Pushed out that time by Marist in Richie Smith.
11 seconds remain now in the first half. Presbyterian able to convert for another first down. And now with 11 seconds, again, you might still have that shot for the end zone.
11 seconds remain. How many plays do you think Presbyterian has?
I think they got one and then the field goal.
One and then the field goal. Well, Swifter goes out wide to the right, looking for Swifter. Instead, he's rolling out to his right in the quarterback in Hurst. He goes past the 20-yard line, then goes just before the 15-yard line and goes out of bounds around the 18-yard line. So 5 seconds remain, and they're going to go to the field goal unit as Presbyterian leads this one 28-16.
They end up settling for the field goal. They ended up not using that last timeout. Might see a Marist timeout here. Try and ice.
The ball is spotted at the 17-yard line. It's going to be a 34-yard field goal for Lipscomb. Marist has 2 timeouts, and they're going to do it right now. Freezing, the old trick in the playbook, freezing the kicker. Icing the kicker is the correct terminology.
I like freezing. I think that's a good one. Lipscomb perfect from 30 to 39 distance, 2 of 2 so far this year. His only misses have been within the 20s. So we'll see if he can remain perfect from the 30s.
This would not be his longest kick. Lipscomb's longest kick is 37 yards. This one, they actually say the ball is spotted at the 18, not the 17. So it's not going to be a 34-yarder. It's going to be a 35-yarder for Lipscomb.
Let's see if he can match his season high or come close to it, rather.
So Marist called their timeout. Marist has 1 timeout remaining. Presbyterian has 1 timeout remaining. 5 seconds on the clock.
Hodges signaling over to his respective fan base, the Presbyterian guys here, trying to hype them up.
Lipscomb, snap good, hold good. Kick is wide right, just missing on the right hash. That's no good, and that's the end of the half. Presbyterian leads this one 28-16. And we will take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, we welcome you back into WMAR here at Tenney Stadium. And when you look at the first half stats, Presbyterian obviously leads in the score 28-16, and really that second quarter was kind of the difference. Presbyterian scored 14 points. Marist only with the field goal in 3. That's kind of what led us here today. Yards, passing yards, in terms of Presbyterian, they've passed the football a lot more than Marist has in terms of the yardage. But Marist has more rush yards. When you look at penalties, both of them have 3. First downs, Presbyterian leads by 1. Third down conversion, though, for Presbyterian. They're 7 of 9 on third down. Marist only 2 for 7. Marist, both times they've gone for it on fourth down, were successful. More plays for Presbyterian, 3 more plays. Yards per play, yards per completion, both go to Presbyterian. But when you look at running the football, it's been all about Marist in terms of that aspect. There's been more red zone opportunities for Presbyterian. However, Marist has been more successful with those red zone opportunities. Time of possession, Presbyterian has them by 3 minutes. And then when you look at it, tackles for loss for Marist, they have 5, Presbyterian only 1. It's just kind of a different look in terms of Presbyterian is more about throwing the football, Marist having a better rushing attack.
They absolutely are. And when it comes to the rushing, it's not really as traditional as you would think. It's really been Sonny Menino all day. They have 90 rushing yards overall. 63 of them have come from Menino, and there was only 1 design run from Sonny. They want to throw the ball a lot, but Menino goes through a read or two, and then he usually elects to scramble. I think out of all the stats that you mentioned, the most important by far has been third down conversions. That's been the difference in this game. Presbyterian has been able to convert on third. Marist has had their struggles with it.
Marist needs to get off the field on third down in terms of defensively, and on offensively, they need to stay on the field a little bit more. But what's interesting is we talked about Hurst being kind of a quarterback that's got mobility, hasn't really run the football. Five carries, -4 yards.
No, he hasn't run the ball at all, really. If you look at him overall, so far this season, he's rushed the ball 60 times, and he's picked up 134 yards, and he's also hit 3 touchdowns via the ground coming into play. He really hasn't rolled out that much. There haven't been many designed runs to him so far today. It's mainly been Zach Switzer.
It's mainly been Zach Switzer in terms of that aspect, but when you look at it in a nutshell, we talked maybe Jennings would be more involved. They just haven't really run the football. They've run the football 17 times for 30 yards, but 2 of them have been for 2 guys are in the minus category. -4 yards for Hurst, -5 for Johnson. Justin Montgomery only 1 carry for 1 yard. We saw Gill, who had that 1 carry for 10 yards. But really, the run game for Presbyterian not really working to where they want it to do. But on the other end, for Marist, it's been Sonny Menino running the football. So, I mean, you look at the stats, it's balanced attack for both sides. 17 passing attempts for Presbyterian, 17 rushing attempts. For Marist, 20 passing attempts for Presbyterian, 17 rushing attempts. For Marist, 20 passing attempts, 14 rushing attempts. However, only 11 of those 20 passes have been completed. Menino is 11 for 19 for 118 yards and 1 touchdown for a completion percentage of 58. You don't necessarily love the completion percentage, but there's a lot of times that he's just throwing the football away because he's getting pressure and no one's open.
Sonny's making the right decisions. He's going to go through his reads, 1 or 2, potentially 3. He doesn't sit in the pocket too long. He rolls out of the pocket, and he scrambles when he needs to, and that's been getting the job done for Sonny, although it might not show in the passing numbers. But then again, most of the year it hasn't shown in the passing numbers for him. He's been a big rushing guy, and I think the big thing that you can't forget in terms of Marist passing has been that interception. It doesn't go to Menino because they were running in the wild card, and it was Carter James who threw it, but the interception, of course, was still crucial.
Yeah, you tried to be a little bit trickery on that interception. Carter James was the one who ended up throwing that pass, and then gets intercepted. Sometimes Marist tried to be a little bit too tricky. The interception has kind of cost him a little bit, especially when you look at the score as they're down by 2 possessions and 12 points against a Presbyterian team who had, coming into today, 2-game winning streak against teams that are middle of the pack in the Pioneer League.
You know, and it's been interesting that their run game has been so solid, that being Marist. Presbyterian, in their last 5 contests coming into play, have allowed less than 100 rushing yards in all 5 of them. And then in 3 out of 5 of them, 60 yards or less from the opponent. They also have 4 consecutive games of less than 20 points. Marist already with 16. So some of these defensive kind of trends for Presbyterian floating away in favor of the offense.
All right, Presbyterian leading this one 28-16. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back for more analysis after this. Welcome back here at Tenney Stadium. Presbyterian leading this one 28-16. Marist got to come out hot right in the second half in the third quarter. They got to score immediately to limit it from 2 possessions into 1 possession. What do you do from an offensive standpoint to get on the board fast and early if you're the Red Foxes?
I think you do a little bit more of the same that you were doing, especially when you look back at the first quarter. They scored 2 touchdowns within the first 15 minutes. I think you need to go back to where that offense was at. I think you need to stick more to the traditional play calling. I think Marist has tried to get a little bit too creative at times, and it's hurt them. I mean, we look at the Carter James interception that was out of the Wildcat. they tried to get it a little fancy, and it didn't help them.
Yeah, the issue is with the Wildcat is the Wildcat's been fine when it's been in the red zone. But when you're doing the Wildcat not in the red zone, that's where things have become a little bit of miscues. And then you look at it in terms of the offense, Menino is running the football not because they need him to, but it's because there's pressure coming and he's trying to extend the play. So do you think Marist just runs the football a little bit more, or just trust your guy Menino and leave it up to all about Menino in the second half?
I think you need to try and establish a run game early, but if it doesn't work, then you got to shy away from it, and you have to put some trust into your offensive linemen that they're going to give Menino the time that he needs back there. And you could trust a guy like Sonny Menino in the backfield because he knows when he doesn't have enough time and when he needs to scramble, he's going to scramble.
Yeah, Menino right now scrambling. He's got 7 carries on the day, 63 yards. Longest run of the day for Menino was 21 yards. He's averaging 9 yards per rush. So even when pressure's coming, Menino is finding a way to avoid it and create something out of nothing.
Right, and Sonny Menino, as you just said, currently rushing for 63 yards so far on the day. That's just 5 away from his high in a single game. I think something else that we have to take a look at is controlling a particular receiver, and that's Sincere Gill on Presbyterian. 3 catches, 146 yards, and 2 TDs. I think Marist is putting too much effort into Dominic Kibbe, who's been relatively quiet, 4 catches for 34 yards. I think the effort needs to be on Gill rather than Kibbe, at least for the meantime.
Gill has done a much better job of avoiding tacklers and kind of creating space. He's more shifty than their other wideouts. Well, second half underway, and it's going to dribble it a little bit. Shannon picks it up around the 5-yard line. Instead, he goes to the right, makes a move, and he's going to get tackled around the 20-yard line, this time by Presbyterian.
Nasty tackle.
Boyce Bankhead on the tackle that time.
Real solid tackle by Bankhead, close to hitting Shannon in the neck or the head area. Lucky he didn't get a neck collar.
Little bit of a lucky break that time. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Marist at their own 20-yard line. Menino under the gun, and everyone is shifting from their original spots. He's got James to his right side. Menino gets the snap, hands it off to James right up the middle, but right away you can see the defensive line and Robert Porter at the nose tackle position just pushing everything back just a little bit. Now there's a Marist offensive lineman down on the field.
This goes back to the whole problem that we've been seeing all year from Marist, and that's they just can't establish a run game. Forces the throws, and it forces Menino to roll out of the pocket, which won't work for the entirety of the game if you need to rely on it.
Injury timeout, so we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. 14:40 remaining in quarter number 3. Marist, first drive of the second half, trying to get on the scoreboard. Well, we'll welcome you back here to Tenney Stadium. The injury for Marist is Jake Annapol, the center. That is something to watch out for these snaps, to make sure that the new center and the quarterback and Menino will be on the same page.
And that's devastating. You don't look at the offensive line too much, especially from a team like Marist. Annapol is one of their captains, one of the 6 captains on this team. He was honored earlier today on Senior Day, and it looks like they're going to have to roll with the backup, and that's the most important position, the center position on that offensive line. So let's see how Menino takes the snaps.
Brandon Fury is now going to be the center, the backup center for Marist, a redshirt sophomore. Menino under the gun, and it's going to be a lateral to Cardillo. Goes to the right side, continues to get space just short of the 30-yard line. Tackled that time at the 28-yard line. And it looks like Russ Martin might have been on the tackle that time.
Marist trying to get shifty and creative once again. Benefits them a little bit, couple of yards, not much.
Caleb Francis also was in it there on the tackle. Hand off to James and stopped immediately by the defense of the Blue Hose. This time on the tackle was Jaden Harris Irvin.
It's a questionable decision by Marist. Don't understand why you're running the ball on 3rd and long. Don't understand why you're not trying to go for it via the air. Interesting call, forces a punt.
Brings up 4th and 4 at the 27-yard line. Yuska to punt, 13:30 remaining in quarter number 3. Looks like it might be an all-out blitz. Instead, looks like it's going to be a full start on Marist, which is going to push them back even more. So now they're going to be even further back, trying to punt it deep. So now they will have to snap it at the 24-yard line. And a little bit of better territory here for Presbyterian.
And this hurts Marist, especially 5 extra yards that Yusko has to punt. Could be the difference between a field goal and no field goal, a touchdown, no touchdown.
Everyone for Presbyterian special teams is going after Yuska. He gets it off, but it bounces just before the 50 and then goes out of bounds. So spot will be just around the 50-yard line for Presbyterian. And guess what? It will be exactly at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 at the 50 for the Blue Hose.
Ideal field possession here for Presbyterian. Starting at the 50, and we've seen their kicker is able to kick from pretty far, so you're only, give or take, 20 yards away from field goal range.
So now goes onto the field, the quarterback and Hurst. This is going to be the first drive of the second half for Presbyterian. 13:20 remaining in quarter number 3. In the backfield next to him was Jennings. He's looking long to his target, and it's just out of the reach of Kibbe for an incompletion. Now make it 2nd and 10 at the 50. 13:16 remaining in quarter number 3.
They tried it. Hurst's guy is Kibbe. Couldn't connect. Just slightly overthrew him.
Kibbe in the first half, he had 4 catches for 34 yards. Maybe they're going to try to get him more involved in the offense. We saw Switzer as well with 4 catches, the running back. Running back in the backfield to the right of Hurst. And it's going to be a fake handoff. Hurst is looking for his tight end, and he makes the catch. Grabbed that time by Warner, but a massive hit by Nate Robinson Jr. on the tackle.
Flag is down. Let's see.
The flag was away. The flag was thrown away from the catch. It's going to be pass interference on the offense. So you're going to negate that play, and it's going to be pass interference was on Jaden Presley, who we have not called at all today until that pass interference. So they had good field position. That gets negated big time, as now they're going to be at their own 35-yard line.
Pretty clear call there for the officials. Looks like Warner just had the entirety of the field to work with. He's good, but he doesn't open up that much space magically. Definitely something has to happen, especially from a penalty, and that's what we had.
2nd and 25.
Another big test here for this Marist defense. Looking for a turnover. They have 7 turnovers in their past 2 games. Nothing so far today.
Jennings in the backfield in motion is the wide receiver, and they give it to him. They give it to the wide receiver. He tries to go quickly. He gets past the 45-yard line, but gets stopped at the 48-yard line. That was Presley, so a little bit of a makeup after that one, getting a big chunk of yardage, but not before they get stopped before the 50. So it's going to be 3rd and about 11.
So that play basically cancels out the offensive pass interference call. Of course, you have to sacrifice the down. Interesting note here for Colin Hurst. He is connected with every single one of his targets on 100% of the times except Dominic Kibbe, 57% with him.
They're going to have Gill in motion. Hurst gets the snap. He's going to go to Gill on the left side. Passes the 50, passes the 45, passes the 40. He's going to be just getting a first down as he gets it past the 40 and not enough to get to the 35. So he'll be spotted at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10 for Presbyterian, 11:50 to play in third.
Sincere Gill continues his monstrous day. Marist has just not been able to contain him.
Hurst again in the back. Hurst again in shotgun. Next to him, it looks like it's Jennings. On the left side. Fakes the handoff and looking to the left. It goes again to the tight end. This time he's got room, continues to get room, and he heads into the end zone for a touchdown. This time it was Levecki who gets into the end zone for the Blue Hose, and now make it 34-16 with 11:21 to play.
Second receiving touchdown of the day for the backup tight end and Levecki, especially with Worth Warner being such a frightful target for defenses. He's been real quiet today. He's left a lot of open space for Levecki. We've seen a lot of the secondary guys making the grabs today for the Blue Hose.
Snap good, hold good. Lipsom's kick is good. 35-16, 11:21 remaining in the third. Marist going to hope for some offense on their next drive. We'll take a quick break. We'll see what Marist offense has in store the rest of the way. Well, we welcome you back here to Poughkeepsie, New York. After that touchdown, it makes it an even more bigger deficit, as now Marist is down by 19 points. 3-possession game. Going to have to get a touchdown here because a field goal doesn't do you anything.
Field goal doesn't do you anything. If you get a field goal, puts Marist at 19. You're still down by 16. It's 2 touchdowns. It's still technically a 2-score game, but the odds of getting two-point conversions are pretty limited.
Yeah, because they're down by 19. A field goal would make it 16. And so now the kickoff will happen. It will be Constantine Gandis to kick, the sophomore. And back to receive for Marist will be Tristan Shannon, along with Lincoln Cardillo.
If you're Marist, you definitely need a touchdown here from the sense of momentum as well. This crowd pretty dead. Need a touchdown or a big play. Get the crowd back into it if you want to win this game.
Marist is going to look for something on this one. Kicks it off. And Presbyterian, a lot of spin on that one. It goes to the 6-yard line in Shannon. He goes to the left, has room. He gets to the 25-yard line, but gets stopped that time by Presbyterian and Boyce Bankhead.
Bankhead has been good all day. His name's been mentioned on a couple of occasions now. 11:13 left here in quarter number 3. Of course, Presbyterian up by 19, 35-16 our score. Marist taking over in desperate search of 6.
The center is still Brandon Fury. Minero under the gun, gets the snap. He's going to hand it off to Carter James up the middle. Instead, he's going to keep it, and he's going to get sacked that time by the Presbyterian defense. On the sack that time for Presbyterian is Carter Zaidlowski.
First time Menino's been sacked today. He had no time whatsoever to throw. Although his legs help on a lot of plays, he could not use his legs whatsoever there. No room to scramble.
Now brings up 2nd down and long. 10:35 remaining in quarter number 3. Marist offense needs something now. It's going to be a 3-man rush. Menino gets a snap, evades pressure, now looking to the right, finds his man, and it's going to be caught, but just short of the marker. Is going to bring up 3rd down. That time on the catch was number 11, Will Downs.
So the completion to Downs makes 3rd way more manageable for the Red Foxes. Be a couple yards away. See what they decide to do. Last time on 3rd and about medium, they decided to run it. Looks like they're going to throw here with Menino as the only guy in the backfield.
Downs' first catch of the day. Menino under the gun. One wide receiver to his right side. He looks to the left. Instead, he's got to take it himself. Gets hit pretty hard, but he's going to be short of the marker. Brings up fourth down. It's going to be about fourth and about 3 yards. As again, it looks like Carter Zylowski now on this possession is having a little bit more of an impact from that defensive end position.
Indeed he is. And it looks like Marist going to go for it here on fourth down. It's basically all or nothing at this point. I know it's still early in the third, but he can't convert here on fourth. I'd say this one's over.
Fourth down and 3. 9:15 remaining in the third quarter. And Marist is going to call timeout because I know how big of a possession this is.
Definitely a big play, big possession here. You would assume that they're going to still go for it on fourth down, that they weren't just trying to draw Presbyterian off sides before they called the TO. But we will see momentarily once this timeout concludes.
I mean, they called timeout before there was still plenty of seconds on the play clock. So it wasn't like they were calling timeout because a play clock was running. Called timeout, trying to make sure that they get the right play. Maybe they saw something on the defensive side of things.
Very well could be. Could be seeing something that maybe Presbyterian saw. They want to switch up their offensive look. And they had a brief meeting with head coach Mike Willis to go over anything that they need to.
Menino under the gun. Carter James to the left side of the quarterback. Mohamed Diawara out wide to the left. Trips to the right, though. Menino gets a snap on fourth down, looks to the right, evades pressure, now rolling to the left. Does he get the first down? He does, and he's got more room, and then he gets pushed out of bounds that time by Alex Harrod.
Once again, the legs of Sonny Menino. He scrambles, and he makes it work.
8:55 to play in the third quarter. Now 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line for Marist. They got to keep moving a little bit because there is not as much time as you might expect with the down by 3 possessions. Menino under the gun, looks to his right, continues to roll to the right side. Going to throw it deep this time to Reed Dexter, but it's incomplete, just out of the reach of him.
I think Dexter was trying to look for some form of a flag. Looks like there might have been a little holding downfield. No call.
Brings up 2nd down and 10. 8:37 remaining in quarter number 3. Menino looking over to see the signals. Diawara is going to be out wide to the left. Back in the backfield is going to be Shannon to the right side of Menino. Then 2 wide receivers out to the far side. Menino gets a snap. Blitz comes. He's going to find his tight end this time. And it's going to be close to get a first down. And Willett on the catch and gets the first down as he's tackled there by Presbyterian. And Christian Ohagwu. And it's going to be a timeout for Presbyterian. That's their first timeout of the second half. So it's going to be 2 timeouts the rest of the way for both sides. 8:12 remaining in quarter number 3. We'll stay with you on this one, but Marist continuing to drive. It's going to be a 1st and 10. Presbyterian going to try to have some stops, but if you're Marist offensively, you've seen Menino throughout. What kind of play call are you looking at here?
I think you need to go to some of the lesser-known guys, more of the backups. Lincoln Cardillo, of course, notched his first touchdown earlier. I think he's been the most solid out of the backfield today. And I think Jackson Willett has also been a nice piece out of the tight end slot. I think you need to start eyeing those guys a little bit more. And, of course, almost everything comes down to that offensive line. Menino needs time to throw. He needs time to let plays develop.
Most catches by a receiver for Marist is 3. That's Jackson Connors McCarthy and Lincoln Cardillo. Really spreading the rock so far. He's got 14 completions out of 23. He's 61% so far passing. Cardillo moved from the right side to the left side. Now gets the snap in Menino. Looks, continues to look. Got open space, runs to the left. Now he's at the 45-yard line and gets tackled at the 44. That time by Presbyterian. And Anthony Thornton.
Sonny Menino once again running, not sliding. He is going to be a physical guy once he rolls out of the pocket. Try and extend any play, get as many extra yards as humanly possible.
2nd down and 3. Setting up the offense here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Motioning.
4 left.
4 on the play clock. Menino gets a snap, hands it off. He's going to take it instead and throw it over to Diawara, but just too low for Diawara to snag that one. Now brings up 3rd down and 3.
A lot of times today, Menino has looked Muhammad Diawara's way, just has not been able to find him successfully. As now 7:22 remaining here in the third. Presbyterian still up 35-16. Big 3rd down here for the Blue Hose and the Red Foxes.
Trips to the near side. Menino under the gun. Next to him is Shannon. He gets the snap and is going to look to the near side. Now looking to the far side as no one was really there, but Mohamed Diawara goes there. Pass intended for him, but broken up that time by Zeb Stroop.
4th down territory again. Marist has been pretty solid on 4th down conversions thus far. Let's see if they can keep it going.
4th down and 3 at the 44-yard line. 7:15 remaining in quarter number 3. Menino looking for the signals. Right now, Cardillo is on the near side. Excuse me, Malore is on the near side. Cardillo is to the far side with trips on his side. And now Menino gets a snap. Looks to the far side. Now looking to the near side, directing traffic, throws it to his target, but it's going to be incomplete as it was just out of the hands of Reed Dexter. And it's going to be a turnover and downs. Presbyterian football at their own 44-yard line. 7:08 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Fantastic job defensively by the Blue Hose, able to step up on 4th down. They haven't been able to do so too much to this point, and they're able to force the turnover on downs. And really now it's just a matter of how many runs can you get off and how much time can you take in between plays, because there's only 22 minutes left in this game, still a 3-score ball game.
I love that you mentioned time. So far, time of possession has been pretty even. Marist leads the time of possession by 1 minute and 22 seconds. Well, that most likely will change, especially with the non-hurry-up offense that the Blue Hose will have, as Justin Montgomery goes into the backfield with the quarterback.
Late substitutions here.
Late substitutions, and there's 8 seconds on the play clock. They most likely will have to call timeout, or it's going to be a delay of game. 3 seconds on the play clock. Do they get it off? They barely do by maybe a millisecond, and it's Montgomery who gets the carry, and he loses maybe a half yard, but they're going to spot him with no gain and no yardage lost.
I understand that the play didn't roll out the way you would want to if you're the Blue Hose. That's a great job by the Presbyterian offense. They got screwed a little bit by the refs. They wouldn't spot the ball until there was about 4 seconds left on the play clock. Somehow, Hurst was able to get that play off. Good job by Presbyterian.
Yeah, Presbyterian substituted. Marist had the time to substitute, so the substitutions kind of became a factor for the refs to spot the football. Switzer moves from the right to the left of the quarterback, and Hurst gets a snap, and then it's going to be Switzer with the run. He's at the 35-yard line and is going to be just getting past the 45, and he's going to go to the 46-yard line before he's stacked up by the Marist defense and Casanova, who is involved there.
Now, Derek, you're up by 3 scores, up by 19 here with about 6 minutes to go in the third. Do you run here or do you throw?
You run the football. You just kill as much clock as possible, knowing that it's a 3-score game.
I agree with you here.
Hurst under the gun, next to him. Looks like it might be Montgomery or Jennings. It is Montgomery. Instead, he's going to pass it out wide. This time he tries to go to Gill, and that's going to be incomplete. So turnover on down. Well, not turnover on down just yet. 4th down and 8. 5:43 to play in the 3rd quarter. They went with the pass, stops the clock, and it gives Marist a little bit of time. But since it's the 3rd quarter, it doesn't really matter as much that you threw the football versus the run.
I agree. I think it's just a matter of about 40 seconds. Now Presbyterian forced to punt. 5:43 to go in the third. Marist has another chance offensively. Still not over yet for the Red Foxes. They got to get offense going. They got to get it going quick. Could be via special teams turn. Little Muhammad Diawara action.
They're going to blow it dead as there was a flag on the play. Looks like the play clock expired. So it's going to be a delay of game on the Blue Hose. That's going to push them back 5 yards. Give more space for the punter.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with the call, or rather with the Presbyterian call of trying to force the play clock dead. You're at about the 46. I don't think that's the worst range for a punter to pin within the 20. Instead, they're going to give him the extra 5 yards.
I don't necessarily think it was on purpose, but it still gives the punter and Ezra King a little bit more space. King to punt. Snap good. Punt okay. Goes up in the air, and it goes out of bounds, which makes it not as good as it went out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line as that ball went out of bounds and landed outside out of bounds at the 25. 5:33 to play. Marist football, 1st and 10 at the 33. We'll be right back on WMAR. Stay tuned for this one. Welcome back here to Tenney. 5:33 remaining in the third quarter. Marist still down 35-16. The offense right now has kind of been stagnant since that first quarter. They only scored 3 points in quarter number 2 and haven't scored yet in quarter number 3.
Has been real slow here in the second half. Of course, they scored 13 in the first quarter. They were looking real solid. They've just been shut down by a good Presbyterian defense.
Menino under the gun. Cardello in motion. Menino's going to keep it, and he goes just maybe to the 35-yard line. Gain of maybe 1 at most, as he was stopped that time by Kenneth Ogba.
And that's the problem here with the Red Foxes relying so much on the Menino scramble as you try and get these design quarterback runs, and it almost feels as if the defense knows what's coming. And that's the prime example there. Menino only able to grab a yard on first down.
8 seconds on the play clock, 4:55 remaining in quarter number 3. Now 5 seconds on the play clock. Menino gets a snap, hands it off to James. He is trying to continue to push forward as the offensive line, but he maybe gets about 2 or 3 yards before forward progress is stopped.
Not the best gain there for Marist. He's going to set up another third down and difficult to manage.
Do you like them running the football here?
I say you got to throw here. You got to force it in the air. They've tried to run before on 3rd and medium. It hasn't panned out. I think now is a throwing situation.
Back-to-back runs for Marist. Running the football has not been as successful as it has been passing, as Menino has been the leading rusher for Marist with 72 yards. Gets a snap, rolling backwards. There's a flag on the play, and he gets taken down that time. And Menino for a sack for Presbyterian, and a little bit of some extracurriculars are coming as the Presbyterian guy who ended up getting the sack was in Malik Horlback from that linebacker position. Kind of jumped up a little bit. So a big sack that time, holding on the offense. That's going to be declined. So now brings up 4th and a mile for Marist, and you have to punt the football.
Yes, you do. And at the end of the play, Menino realized what's been going on and lets out some frustration at the end of the play. Refs didn't call anything except for that holding.
You just got a punt for Red Foxes. Snap good, punt good. It's going to be right, bounced at the 25-yard line. Picks it up that time, and Gill tries to find some space. He has a couple of space, breaks through like 3 or 4 tacklers. There's some extracurriculars going on at the 20-yard line. A little bit of a flop that time by Presbyterian, but still no flag from those extracurriculars.
There's been so much after the play that's been going on. Refs so far haven't called anything. You kind of expected it coming into this game given the tempers that were flaring early, and we see it now.
1st and
10 for Presbyterian, starting at their own 30-yard line. Their biggest thing is that there's 3:32 remaining in quarter number 3. They probably want to use up that entire clock.
Most certainly. You try and get a couple of first downs here, pretty much ice this game.
Jennings in the backfield, next to Hurst. He's on the right side of Hurst. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 wide receiver out to the right, and that's going to be incompleted. That time was trying to go to his target, but just didn't really get any muster on that one, as it looks like it was intended for his target that time, and Wyatt Hodges.
And I don't understand why you're going for the throw here if you're Presbyterian. The goal here is just to chew clock. They decide that they want to risk that with the possibility of an incompletion, and you get just that.
It was a short pass that time to Hodges, but just a little bit of miscommunication as it hit the fingertips. Well, they're going again and passing the football. Hurst finds his man, makes a man miss that time, is Kibbe, but he gets tackled just before the first down. It's going to be at the 38-yard line that time. So 3rd and 2, 3:10 to play in the third.
Blue Hose continuing to throw the football. They're not running it.
I mean, if you're having completions throwing the football, it's not the worst case scenario.
It's not, but you don't really want to run that risk.
And here, they're going to run. And stopped immediately. A whole bunch of Marist defenders involved on that one. As he gets no yardage, McCorkle, a main reason why that one stood up.
Gannon McCorkle having a fantastic game so far. He already notched the most amount of tackle for losses he has in a single game so far this season and continues to have a real nice game.
Braylon Ricks, along with McCorkle, were the ones that really just pushed that offensive line further back just a little bit. 2:15 to play in quarter number 3. Marist losing 35-16. 4th and 2 for Presbyterian. No pressure on the punter. He gets it off. And it was down to his back to receive, not Mohamed Diawara. So we'll see if something's going on with him.
Yeah, I don't understand that unless he's injured, but it seems like he's fine. He's getting into the huddle right now with the offense.
Looks like maybe he needed an extra break, and they went to downs, maybe just try to switch things up a little bit. Diawara is in the huddle, but will not come out for this first play. He's talking to Mike Willis right now in Diawara.
He seems ready to go.
Menino is going to be under the gun. On the far side is going to be Downs. In motion this time is Dexter. Menino rolling out to the right, looking deep to Downs, and it's picked off at the 50-yard line. This time, again, who is it? Russ Martin. Both of them having a big impact today.
The Martin brothers have been tearing up this Marist offense. Second interception of the game. Now Menino throwing his first, and you get a blessing because Presbyterian only took about a minute off the clock with their last possession, and you just throw it away.
Now it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line for Presbyterian. They did not run very much in that last possession. They only ran the football once. We'll see if they'll continue to pass the football, or maybe they'll run the football a little bit more here.
We'll see. I think run is the way to go.
We'll see if you're correct. They do run it. Looks like it's Montgomery. He gets a couple yards. This time just stopped before the 45-yard line. He gets stopped at the 46. So now it's going to bring up 2nd down and about 6.
Good gain there on 1st down. Able to keep this clock rolling.
It was Jennings on that last carry, now Montgomery.
We've seen a pretty balanced rushing game here from Presbyterian between Montgomery and Jennings.
So Jennings to the right of Hurst. Does not hand it off, and instead takes it. McCorkle almost gets a sack, but there's going to be a flag on the play, most likely holding. Hurst gets a couple yards, goes out of bounds just before the 30-yard line at the 31, but it looks like that one was holding as McCorkle almost had Hurst down, but then kind of got grabbed at the end.
Yeah, this one's probably coming back. Offensive holding.
1:05 remaining in quarter number 3. So it's actually going to be personal foul, hands to the face on the defense. So that's going to help out Presbyterian after the end run. So we thought maybe a holding on Presbyterian. It's a flag on Marist, which pushes Presbyterian now basically into field goal range.
And it looks like they're going to have the opportunity to score once again. Already inside the red zone.
1:05 remaining in quarter number 3. Presbyterian in field goal range, so all they have to do right now is just keep running the clock. Hurst under the gun. Next to him on the left side is Jennings. He's got one wide receiver to the right, to the near side. That one was his favorite target in Gill. He had motion, and they tried to pass it over to Gill as he was kind of running across the side, and that one was incomplete. Brings up second down and 10. 47 seconds now remaining in quarter number 3.
Once again, Presbyterian deciding to go through the air after the big play. I don't understand it. I think he should be really just grinding out this clock.
The passes that they've been doing so far have been very short, so that you would expect them to be high completion passes, but they haven't been completions.
We just haven't seen it.
Hurst under the gun next to Jennings on the left side. Passes it off to Jennings on the left side. He's got some room. Is he going to go into the end zone? He's going to be just short of the end zone, about the 2-yard line that time. Looks like Warner was on the tackle.
It should be the last play of the quarter. Less time on the actual clock than the play clock here. Actual clock reads 23, play clock 26.
Well, we'll see if the Blue Hose run a play here. They don't have to if they don't want to. They're in the huddle formation. It looks like they will run a play. 10 seconds on the game clock. Now at 5. This is an interesting formation. They got like basically everybody in the backfield. They run to the left, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Blue Hose, and it's Levecki who gets into the end zone. That's the 3rd touchdown for him of the day. It's actually the other tight end. It was Warner in the backfield who gets his first touchdown of the day.
So Worth Warner's name, who we haven't heard that often today, able to get in for 6. And if this one wasn't already over, it seems like it is. Injury here for Marist.
Injury for Marist. Presbyterian now leading this one 41-16 at the end of 3. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back for more action.
Well, we welcome you back to action. The man down on the field for Marist was Joey Paterno. He ends up getting up, and he gets help off to the sidelines, but it does not look too good.
Paterno's been having a good game today. He's got 4 tackles, 1.5 of them 4 losses. He's also got a sack. But it looks like his day is, in all likelihood, over.
Most likely his day is officially over, but we cannot rule it to be officially. It just looks like it is. It appears that he will not play, but you never know in football. Now here, Presbyterian will kick the extra point shortly, and depending on this, it would be 42-16 if they were able to make it. And now if you're Marist, you got the 4th quarter. It's the last home game of the season. It's the last game of the season. You've won 1 game the entire season. That was your last game against Stetson. You won that one 40-31. Just your overall thoughts on the season for the first-year head coach, Mike Willis.
So it's obviously been a down year. You look at the record, they're 1-10, and they barely beat Stetson, who is a opponent that you should be able to beat, and you should be able to beat well. However, this team is young. I think this Marist team has a young coaching staff as well. So I think overall it was obviously a poor season, but I don't think that the future is too dim for Marist.
You figured out the quarterback situation, Manito. You figured out your experience at the running back position. You got Shannon. You got James. You have playmakers this year. You just got to make sure that you can continue that mantra going. The defensive side of the ball is a little bit more experienced than the offensive side of the ball. That kick is good. That extra point is good. So now it's going to be 42-16, and we'll start the fourth quarter with, we will start the fourth quarter real shortly, as we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Well, we welcome you back here to Tenney after now Presbyterian is dominating, to say the least, 42-16. The kickoff from Constantine Gandis is underway. Shannon takes the football just past the 5-yard line, goes to the left side trying to create a hole, and he ends up getting tackled just at the 31-yard line as a bunch of Presbyterian defenders were on that tackle, with Zeb Stroop being the one who ends up getting him down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Marist, 14:52 remaining in this one. As right now it looks like they'll try to come up with more of a confidence boost. Carter James, a redshirt sophomore, so he will be back next year in terms of eligibility. Tristan Shannon will be graduating, one of the many players that we saw for the senior day ceremonies. Menino, a redshirt sophomore. So they have guys coming back next year. Trips to the right. Menino under the gun. It's going to be a handoff to Shannon, but instead they blow it dead. It's because of a Marist illegal substitution. They subbed their last player when there was about 5 seconds on the play clock. So they blew it dead, and they'll restart. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line for Marist. Menino hands it off to Shannon, runs to the right side, continues to push, continues to get those legs moving just a little bit, but he's going to get stopped at the 36-yard line. As that time it was Cade Lewis on the tackle for Presbyterian. Now 14:30 remaining in quarter number 4. Menino looking in for the signs to make sure he gets everyone set up. It's going to be trips to the far side, one wide receiver to the near side. Menino gets the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it over to his tight end, and gets stopped immediately. That time on the tackle was Dalton Epps, as he tried to go to his tight end and will at that time, but really had no room to go anywhere, which brings up 3rd down. 3rd down and about 6. 13:45 remaining in this game. Menino under the gun, trips to the near side, one wide receiver out wide to the left. Looks like it's Downs out to the left. Menino gets a snap, looks to the middle, tries to throw it to Cardillo, goes off the fingertips, and almost intercepted that time by Presbyterian. And now it's going to be 4th down, and you're just going to punt.
Like you said, Derek, real close to an interception there defensively. And this Marist offense just continues the woes. Looks like on the sidelines, backup quarterback Logan Brabham might have a shot of getting in here.
Will Farrell for Presbyterian was the one who almost intercepted that pass from the cornerback position. Punt is good for Yuska. That one bounces at the 40 and now bounces back 5 yards. So now it's at the 47-yard line for their own 47-yard line for Presbyterian to start their drive. 1st and 10, 13-14 remaining in this one.
Yeah, and again, this just comes down for Presbyterian to running out clock. You're up real big, It's just a matter of time for Presbyterian.
All about time for Presbyterian. There is a flag on the play, however.
This might be defensive.
Running into the kicker, which is a 5-yard penalty, and it's going to be a first down. So Marist offense will be back on the field after the punt, as it was running into the kicker, not roughing, running into the kicker. So it's going to be 4th and about 2 yards for Marist. Offense is in the huddle with Willis, so it looks like they will go for the 4th and 1, 4th and 2.
That penalty changing the way that Marist is to approach this 4th down. Of course, they were about to punt earlier. They're going to go for it now. See what they can do here on 4th and very short. They've been good today.
Cardillo in the backfield to the right side of Menino. Now moving to the left side of Menino. We'll see what play they come up with. Marist had a player in motion, and the quarterback and running back both go in motion. Reed Dexter goes in motion. It's going to be Cardillo who gets a first down. Now he's at the 49-yard line, so first down for Marist as they try to keep this drive alive.
Kennedy was out there for Marist. Looked like he was in a shot where he might have had a chance to catch. Looked like he was an eligible receiver, but of course they end up going with Cardillo, and he gets the first down.
Wildcat has been working in terms of short yardage.
Long yardage, not as much. Of course, the interception earlier.
Menino under the gun, James on the right side. Hand off to James. Goes through a hole to the left side. He's going to be just around the 50-yard line. And he stopped that time by Zed Stroop.
Decent gain there on first down. Marist, I feel like, is taking way too much time in between plays.
They're in no rush. 42-16 ball game.
I was going to say, almost looks like they've
It's very
just,
bleak.
Yeah, almost looks like they've just given Presbyterian the win, and they're just kind of looking to pad stats at this point.
I think they're just looking for the game to be over. Menino, hand off to James. Looks to the left, gonna run and maybe get a yard as he's tackled that time by Jacob Thornton.
Slow day today for Carter James. Just eclipsed 20 yards on the day on 7 carries. It's been a slow rushing game overall for this Marist offense, with the exception of Sonny Menino rolling out.
27 carries, 113 yards for Marist, but 65 of those yards are all Menino. Connors McCarthy in motion. They're going to hand it off. Instead, they're going to go right to Connors McCarthy. Menino gets hit pretty hard. He's down, and they're going to throw a flag because that's going to be roughing the passer. Menino, however, gets right back up. So it's not going to be, it's just going to be a personal foul on the defense, not roughing the passer. So it's going to give Marist an automatic first down and even more yardage.
And Menino pops right back up. He has experience outside of the quarterback position before Marist, and it's really showing here. He takes some tough hits back there and pops right back up.
He's still walking a little gingerly.
Been looking up and down the sidelines, trying to see if Brabham's throwing, and it looks like he is.
James to the right side of Menino. Menino gets a snap, looks, and finds James over the middle. There's a flag on the play. James gets a couple yards. He's right around that first down marker, but he's stopped by Alex Harrod. And it's a full. What was the flag? I missed it.
Looks like it's coming back, full start.
So I think it was full start or holding on the offense. Holding on the offense, which pushes them back just a little bit. That time it was Brandon Fury, the backup center that we talked about could be an issue, especially when you got a backup center with a snap, but also just the regular offensive line play.
Yeah, and the center is almost the quarterback of the offensive line, of course, with their star down and one of their captains down. That hurts the team overall. They get a little bit more sloppy, as you see with the holding call right there.
Menino under the gun. Next to him is Shannon. Menino looking deep, gonna find a man, and it's gonna be almost intercepted. That time was looking for his target on the far side. Can't tell who he was looking for, but it was almost intercepted, went in and out of the hands of the Blue Hose. It was Cardillo who he's looking for.
Surprised I haven't seen a flag thrown, or there's been no flags thrown. Marist offensive lineman got thrown to the ground about 5 seconds after the play was called dead.
Has there been a flag that has been from extracurriculars? I don't think there's been one.
There's been no flags from extracurriculars, and there's been a ton of it this game. Surprising.
And now there's a flag. Delay of game. That's going to push him back 5 yards. So instead of it being 2nd and 20, it's going to be 2nd and 25.
And Marist just can't help themselves. They've been solid all year in terms of the penalties and avoiding them, but just real struggle here in the fourth quarter.
10 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this game. Menino gets a snap, looking for someone, finds Connors McCarthy, but he drops it. It goes out of the hands, and there's another flag as Menino went down. So there's the dead ball foul that we talked about. There it is. There's a foul on Presbyterian, and they get an automatic first down.
Again, Cade Lewis is the victim of the penalty, number 27 on the Blue Hose. And finally, the refs calling the extracurriculars.
First extracurricular called today. But it's been on both sides that it hasn't been called. Marist has had some extracurriculars. Presbyterian has had some extracurriculars. And that's the first one we've seen.
It certainly has.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. 10 minutes to play in this game. Menino under the gun. And shotgun. Gets the snap. Going to hand it off to Shannon, who's got some room up the middle. And going to be stopped just around the 25-yard line. And yet again, Russ Martin. This time it's Bradley Russ Martin from the cornerback position who makes the tackle. The Russ Martin guys, it seems like every single time on defense I'm calling their name.
It's been the Russ Martin game defensively.
Connors McCarthy gets the football from the pass, and they're going to get the first down as he gets to the 20-yard line. And then tackled that time by number 94, Dalton Epps.
First time we're hearing Epps' name today.
Getting some more action with this game being a large margin.
Starting to see some of the backups.
9 minutes to play in this one. 1st and 10 at the 20. 10 seconds on the play clock. Menino gets a snap, going to hand it off to Shannon. Instead, he's going to take it himself and keep the football, then tries to throw it over to Diawara, but that goes off of the fingertips of him and incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
And the Muhammad Diawara woes continue. Especially on a day that he's being honored for Senior Day. He just has not been able to haul one in from Sonny Menino. The connection has just not been there.
8:49 remaining in this football game. Shannon next to Menino on the left. Downs on the near side, the only one on the near side, trips to the far side. Menino looking, rolling out to the left side, hoping a wide receiver gets open, going to throw it into the end zone, but away from nobody to catch the football, as Diawara might have had a chance of catching it, but it was just out of his reach. 8:39 remaining in this one. Make it 3rd down.
And again, seemed like a lack of call from the refs. Defensively, cornerback was turned around completely. They didn't call anything.
3rd down and 10. Menino again looking for the signals. James is going to be in the backfield this time. Now trips to the near side. And Diawara is the only wide receiver to the far side. And he fakes out Diawara. Was trying to go to him but didn't realize it. Well, James gets the football somehow, some way, breaks a couple tacklers, and then is just short of the 10-yard line. However, there is a flag on the play, and you can see the Marist offensive line not so happy with the call, as it looks like Dan Lozano was the victim there on the penalty. It's actually going to be on Dominic Bercione for the foul. And things are getting a little chippy, to say the least.
They certainly are. I'm surprised. We've seen tempers flaring. I'm surprised they're not flaring even more. Just become a real sloppy game from the Marist side of things. They're just struggling to get in the end zone.
3rd down and a mile. 8:20 remaining in this game. Score still remains 42-16. Next to Menino on the left is James. They're out of field goal range now. James picks up a block. Menino to the near side, throwing it down the field. It's a jump ball in the end zone, and it's going to be batted away, incomplete. Intended receiver was Downs, and brings up 4th down and 25. It should be interesting to see if they go for it or if they kick the field goal, or be a 52-yard field goal if they want to kick it.
Looks like Menino and the offense is staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th and 25. Quite the challenge ahead.
4th and 25, and you're at the 35-yard line. They have to get to the 10-yard line. So it's going to be a deep play no matter what, unless if they do laterals. 7:59 remaining in this game. 4 seconds on the play clock. And it's going to be a pooch punt for Menino, and it goes right into the end zone right away. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Blue Hose. 7:54 remaining in this game. Make sure to stay tuned for this one. We'll be right back after this. Well, we welcome you back into this game. Presbyterian leading this one 42-16. We talked about it early on, kind of the overall scenario for Marist. Well, right now you can see Logan Brabham warming up for Marist, the backup quarterback. And it should be interesting to see if they end up going to him. Matt O'Dowd also was warming up with him. The transfer from LSU was a walk-on at LSU. And now here at Marist, didn't get the start, that kind of that 3rd-string quarterback now with our Jonah out, but was that 4th-string quarterback entering today. Well, Presbyterian's going to have the football. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 7:54 to play in the 4th quarter. And that's going to be a run to the far side, and he's going to go out of bounds. Clock's going to continue to run, which at this point in time, both teams are probably hoping it continues to run.
Well, Derek, going back to your point earlier about the quarterback situation, I wouldn't be surprised to see Brabham in the game, especially if Mike Willis, the head coach, wants to kind of give him that blaze of glory on the way out. He's graduating. So I think we might see some Brabham next time Marist goes on the offensive side of things with this game all but over.
Well, it's a new quarterback for Presbyterian. It's Warner Bush. We thought maybe the backup was going to be someone else, but he's the backup here today.
It's surprising they didn't go to Ty Englehart.
Well, they went to Bush. They wanted to surprise everybody. And that looks like it's going to be a full start on the offense. Instead, it's going to be delay of game as the play clock was down. That pushes them back 5 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 13.
So you bring in a new quarterback, and there goes the delay of game.
Yep, that's what happens sometimes. But Bush at the quarterback position for the Blue Hose. We'll see if they pass now, because you have the backup quarterback. You might want to figure out some things. 5 seconds on the play clock. That one gets down. Instead, it's going to be a handoff. This time, it goes to running back. He goes to the left side, continues to go down the sideline. He somehow gets out at some point. That was C.J. Johnson on the carry.
Just Johnson's 2nd carry of the game. First one went for -5. That one, of course, going for positive yardage and a first.
So different backfield that we see. It's going to be Bush along with Johnson. Changing things up. And with this large margin for the Blue Hose, you might as well.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose.
Bush gets a snap, hands it off. Nope, he's going to keep it himself. Gets a couple yards, and then is pushed back by the defense of Marist. And Isaac Nkwantibisa Asedu.
And on the tackle, we didn't think we were going to hear his name today. Probably just coming in because he's a senior. Mike Willis wanted to give him a little bit of time.
Redshirt freshman and Isaac Nkwantibisa Asedu. So just one of those backup defensive linemen, excuse me.
Nick Jackson also in on the tackle there.
Bush under the gun. Looking, finds Johnson to the right side, but he can't gather that one up, so it's going to be incomplete, which stops the clock. 5 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in this game. 3rd and 9 for Presbyterian.
Now the question is here, do you throw or do you run? Do you really care enough?
No, you don't care if you're Presbyterian because you have the backup quarterback, you have the backup running back. You want to get your backup quarterback some reps in terms of passing the football. You're just hoping that you can see what he can do to see what the next steps are for him.
It'll be interesting to see how Presbyterian moves forward depending on Bush's performance today, considering Hurst is young.
Bush with room to rumble, goes to right side. He's got open grass, and he goes all the way to the 50-yard line. Presbyterian bench certainly happy with that run as Cade Warner was on the tackle. 1st and 10 now for Presbyterian. 4:50 to play in this one.
Nice tackle there by Warner. And a better job by Bush, able to get right back up.
Now they're going to slow it down just a little bit. Try to milk this clock, at least for now.
4:35 left in regulation.
10 seconds on the play clock.
Couple of changes at the line here.
Now 3 seconds on the play clock. Bush gets it off, and he's going to hand it off to Johnson on the right side. He's got open room. He's going to be right around that first down marker, but just gets tripped up just in time that time as Trimble just tripped him up.
Austin Trimble, who we saw go down with an injury earlier, obviously showing that the injury is not impacting his play whatsoever. Nice wrap up.
Now just over 3:50 to play in this one. 2nd and 1. Bush under the gun. Johnson right next to him on the left side. Bush going to pass. He throws it to his target. They're going to get the first down. And then forward progress stops him that time, as it was B.J. Atkins on the catch.
A little bit more extracurricular activities afterwards. Even with the blowout here, temper's still flaring a little bit. I think the real question going forward is, will Marist get the ball back? Are we going to see Logan Brabham?
One never knows. There's still just over 3 minutes left in this one.
Down to 1 second.
Bush gets it off. Looking deep for the end zone. Incomplete. Great coverage that time by Trimble. He was trying to go to Atkins.
Looking to give Atkins his second catch of the game. Not able to haul it in. Good coverage there by Austin Trimble.
Coverdale just entered for Andrew Lynch on the defensive side of the ball. Rusher came in at linebacker. More special teams. Guy. Bush under the gun. Clock continuing to roll. This time he's going to throw it, and it goes in the middle of two of his targets. That time it looked like he was trying to go to Jalen Patrick, but didn't look around, as now it's 2:41 remaining in this one. 3rd down and 10.
Looked like a rush originally. Gannon McCorkle agreed. Completely tackled the back.
So a late substitution here as Isaac Anquan Tabisa Asadu goes out and Nick Jackson goes in for him on this 3rd down. It's going to be a run up the middle. Just around that 1st down marker was the run. It was Tyleek Seeley on the carry.
Looks like he was just about half a yard short. Looks like the Blue Hole offense is going to stay out there. 2:20 remaining in regulation, 42-16. Blue Hole lead.
4th and 1, and they're going for it. They don't have to snap it before the 2-minute timeout, but they might. 2 minutes and 9 seconds, now 5 seconds. They get it off, Bush, handoff to Seeley, and he's going to be just short. Loss of a yard. So it's going to be a turnover on downs. 2-minute warning coming up, and it is the 2-minute warning. Presbyterian still leads this one 42-16. It's going to be Marist football, 1st and 10. We'll be right back after these messages.
Well, we welcome you back here to Tenney Stadium here in Poughkeepsie, New York. Should be interesting to see who's going to be at the quarterback position for Marist. We are at the 2-minute mark. 2-minute timeout is happening right now. Marist about to go back on the field. It should be interesting to see who's at quarterback. And in this spot, I think you just go to Brabham here.
Yeah, I would agree. Let him go out in a blaze of glory, so to speak. And they're going to go to him.
Brabham at quarterback for Marist. It's going to be interesting to see who else is going to be at the offense, in the offense, as probably a lot of substitutions have occurred.
DOR in the backfield, and they're going to change it up.
And Shannon will go back into the backfield. Brabham under the gun. The lefty quarterback. He's going to throw it, and it's going to be a completion to a target, and Reed Dexter for a 1st down at the 40-yard line, getting the chains moving early on. So comes into the ball game, first pass to completion.
There goes Logan Brabham. Hurry up offense.
There they go again. Brabham looking to pass, rolling out to his right side. Looking for someone. It's Tristan Shannon. Just goes right through the hands of Shannon for an incompletion. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
Good job by Brabham there to roll out, evade the pressure. Learning from Sonny Menino, it seems. 1:39 left in regulation. 42-16. Presbyterian leads. Clock will stop.
Clock will stop for the meantime. We'll start once the snap occurs. Marist using up the play clock a little bit. Now it's at 10 seconds. See if they get the play off before it's going to be a penalty.
Still have 2 timeouts if you need it.
Still have 2 timeouts, that's for sure, under the gun. This time they're going to hand it off. And it's going to be Shannon who's got some room, looking for a block from Downs. Downs is going to get the block. Shannon at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone for a touchdown, Marist. They get the first score in the 2nd half for a touchdown, and it comes with 1:24 remaining in the game.
Tristan Shannon able to notch the score. Happy senior day to Tristan Shannon. 60-yard house call.
Now to kick the extra point for Marist is going to be Mendini to make it a 19-point game.
Connor missed a PAT earlier.
That one almost blocked, but that one goes through. 42-23, but there is a flag. Leaking is the call. That is declined. You don't hear leaking every day of the week.
That's not a very common penalty.
It's going to be enforced on the kickoff. Now here, if you're Marist, it's the last game of the season, last home game. Do you consider going for the onside kick?
Well, taking a look at the crowd, looks like most of them still stayed. I think you got to give them a treat. Give them something to work with. A little onside kick here. I can see it.
42-23, 124 remaining in this game. Marist's first touchdown in the second half just occurred.
It was their first score since early in the second quarter. And almost 2 full quarters without scoring.
Now it was a field goal.
That score was a field goal.
So the last time that they got a touchdown back in the first quarter.
Yep, so definitely nice on the coaching side of things. Nice for the Marist fans that are here. At least able to get a touchdown here. Looks like they are going to go for the onside kick.
Well, at least Presbyterian is expecting the onside kick. We'll see if it actually occurs.
Looks like Marist is lining up for one as well.
Getting the hands team on there on the field. Is Gabe Keeson a kickoff? Looks like he's going deep, not the onside. And he is going to kick it deep. So it's going to be Presbyterian football, 1st and 10 at the 20. So you didn't get your, at the 25, you didn't get your wish with the onside.
I do stand corrected. Looks like we're going to see likely 3 snaps from Presbyterian, and then we'll go home.
Presbyterian press box up here. Everyone has vacated. So I wouldn't expect anything big to happen.
Surprised about that.
I mean, you're probably just taking knees here or running the football.
I guess. I don't see why they wouldn't want to just call it out.
Head down to the field. Beat the traffic. And the first one will be a knee. There's 1:20 on the clock. So if you can do the math, it's 1:10 now, and there's 33 seconds.
Looks like they might have to call 2 more. It'll be close.
At least one.
At least one, could be 2 more.
Most likely 2. So that'd be 2nd down and 3rd down that they would be doing the quarterback kneel down, not just 2nd down. Depending on how quick he kneels down.
Now it looks like we're only going to get 1 more.
We only needed 1 more. 35 seconds left in the game. They already took their knee, so the ball game is over. Presbyterian now a 3-game winning streak as they win this one 42-23. Alongside Mike Duda, I'm Derek DeGallo. What are your final thoughts?
Well, Presbyterian able to get their first win against the Marist Red Foxes. Looks like the tensions are easing a little bit. Everyone going for congratulations here at midfield. 1-10 final season for the Marist Red Foxes.
1-10 final first year head coach and Mike Willis. Not necessarily what they wanted, but it's the way it went. However, Marist looking to continue next year to see what happens in the second season of Mike Willis. WMAR will have their next broadcast on Tuesday. Men's basketball against Dartmouth. I'll be on the call for that. Make sure to tune in for that one. Alongside Mike Duda, I'm Derek DeGallo. Thank you for joining Thank you for joining with us on this one. Take care.